All right, Wheels, and the good news is that in the past, Sid has, in fact, shut them down. As a matter of fact, Todd, when you look over that lineup, there's really no hot batter career-wise off Fernandez.
Yeah, and Sid has done well against everybody in the major leagues, as you know, by his batting average against, but especially this team. The two guys in the middle, the 3 and the 4 guys, haven't done much at all. Matt Williams just 3 for 27, void of a home run. Barry Bonds in 66 career at-bats has just 1 home run. Not often do you see those two guys combine for 90 at-bats against somebody with only 1 home run. So Sid has done a good job against the 2 main thrusts in their offense. We'll see what happens tonight. You know one thing? Sid's going to have the short sleeves despite how cold it's going to be.
It's not a night for a Hawaiian. It's not a night for just about anybody right now. But Sid is 8-4 lifetime against these guys, 2.95 earned run average. We'll see what happens this time around. Let's go back to Chris.
All right, Andy, Sid Fernandez will be on the mound tonight. Statistically, the toughest guy to hit in the National League with a good earned run average of 2.39. On the mound for the San Francisco Giants, a guy with a real good curveball with the Florida Marlins last year, right-hander Mark Gardner. We should have a good ball game. Stay tuned for the starting lineups coming up right after this. Head back here at 3Com Park at Candlestick. No, it just feels like.
That's the weather.
We're in Philadelphia tonight at Veterans Stadium where the San Francisco Giants are in town. And that's...
The heaters are out.
Yeah, those are the things you see in San Francisco for night games. There's the temperature, 51 degrees, a low humidity, so it's a dry, cool night. Winds from the northwest at 15 miles per hour. And you see our forecast, clear and frosty with no chance of rain nor snow this evening. San Francisco Giants will go this way. Stan Javier will lead off and play center field. Robbie Thompson, the second baseman, will bat second. Barry Bonds in left field hits third. Matt Williams is the third baseman. Mark Carrion at first base. Glenn Allen Hill will be in right field. Sean Dunston just off the DL today at shortstop. Steve Decker, the catcher. And on the mound, right-hander Mark Gardner.
And facing that power-packed San Francisco Giant lineup will be 33-year-old left-hander Sid Fernandez. Sid's making his 7th start of the season and his 2nd since he missed that turn on May 2nd down in Florida against the Florida Marlins because of a soreness in his right knee. His last start was a gem. He pitched 7 innings and allowed just 1 run on 2 hits, struck out a total of 8 batters. He ended up with a no decision in that ballgame, as has been the case with Sid during this season. Phillies finally came back and won that game against the Houston Astros by a 2-1 score. See Sid's last 3 starts, the one before the skip and then the 2 after, or excuse me, the 2 before and 1 after. He's been outstanding, and hopefully Sid can come up with another one of those gems this evening. Defensively behind Sid this evening, J.R. Phillips, the former Giant, is at first base. Mickey Morandini at second. Kevin Stocker at shortstop. Todd Zeal at third. Jim Eisenreich is in left field with Lenny Dykstra in center. Glenn Murray in right. And behind the plate for the Phillies this evening, Benito Santiago calling the pitches for Sid Fernandez.
And leading off for the Giants will be switch hitter Stan Javier, who had a brief career here in Philadelphia. Played with the Phillies back in 1992. Did Stan Javier. He is just off the disabled list recently, and he has been cold since coming off. Just 8 for 41, batting at 195. Seems strange to see a guy just hitting under 200 in this Giants lineup because they are a high-powered offense. And Sid Fernandez, first pitch of the ball game, is a strike call by Brian Gorman, the home plate umpire. Randy Marsh at first base, Harry Wendelstedt, the crew chief, at second, Mike Winters over at third base. Brian Gorman, whose father Tom, a longtime National League umpire, and Stan Javier, whose daddy Julian was a great player in this league. Fly ball foul out of play down the right field line, and ahead in the count is Fernandez 0-2. Javier had a hamstring problem and missed a couple weeks on the disabled list. And there you see his numbers against Sid. Not too many hitters have good lifetime numbers against Sid Fernandez. Outside, Javier batting 192 right-handed and just 167 from the left side. He has a homer and 5 runs batted in. Stan can steal a base when he gets on. He's stolen 3 in 3 attempts. A ball and 2 strikes on Javier. Slow curveball, looper, left field, and over Stocker's glove and a base hit. So the first curveball that Sid Fernandez throws is a looping base hit to center field by Stan Javier, and that'll bring up Robbie Thompson.
Talk about Fernandez all the time with that slow curveball and how it gets hitters out in front. Javier kind of does a little double clutch, doesn't hit it very hard, just gets it up in the air. Stocker on the way back just comes up short with that loop with the reach. So Javier with a looping single starts off the game for the Giants.
Robbie Thompson, a real good number 2 hole hitter when he's healthy. Grounds 1 to third. Should be a double play. To Morandini, back to first. 5-4-3 on the double play. And Teak, of all the things that Sid Fernandez does so well, rarely does he throw a ground ball double play.
Double plays are not the norm for Sid Fernandez because he just doesn't throw that many ground balls. But Thompson, first ball hitting was again out in front of the Fernandez pitch. Tops it to third at Zeal. Nice, convenient one hopper to him. He's just academic after that. Just make good throws all the way around and you get the double play.
And here he comes, a premier player in the league right now. Barry Bonds, what a year he's having. Look at those numbers. 13-game hitting streak for Bonds. Rep straight back. He recently joined his daddy in a rare air club as you look at who's hot for this club. And Bonds probably the hottest. 300 home runs, 300 stolen bases. Willie Mays, Andre Dawson, Bobby Bonds, and Barry Bonds. And Bobby not the first base coach anymore. He is in the dugout. Our old friend Jim Davenport is down there coaching first base. There's Davy, who was a third base coach here for the Phillies for a number of years, and a long time third baseman with the San Francisco Giants, and a real good player. Bonds takes that curveball outside. What has Barry Bonds done against Sid Fernandez? 242, a homer and 8 runs batted in, 16 for 66, and there you see how hot he's been. Leading the majors with a 17 home runs. Strike call. He's running neck and neck with another guy in the league who you would never believe, and that's Henry Rodriguez.
Yeah, Henry Rodriguez has been a big surprise. Bonds doesn't surprise anybody anymore, but in fact Rodriguez caused a stoppage in the game yesterday by hitting another home run up in Montreal. He threw all the candy bars on the field. This umpiring crew, in fact, was up there.
Inside, ball 3, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, they're throwing those O. Henry candy bars on the field now whenever Henry Rodriguez does something in Montreal, which is not good, but it's kind of nice that those fans are into it a little bit because they have a good ball club.
They really do. The Expos have played well so far this year.
Matt Williams waits on deck. Let's see what Benito wants. He wants a fastball from Sid Fernandez. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Bonds. Looper left field. Eisenreich can't get it. Base hit Barry Bonds. He has hit safely in 14 straight games, and that's a pretty good piece of hitting against a tough left-hander.
Well, Bonds very seldom swings at bad pitches. Looks like he was almost sitting on a breaking ball here. He was just able to pull the hands inside and loop the ball into left field. Thought he was going to get a 3-2 breaking ball from Fernandez. Didn't get it, and still has the ability to get the good part of the bat on it and get it out into the outfield.
You know what was interesting about that is that he was a little defensive, even though it was a 3-2 count. He knew that he probably wasn't going to get a real good pitch to hit. Here is Matt Williams, and Matt Williams is also hot. 10th in the league with his .338 batting average, 6th in the league in runs scored. He scored 30 of them. Last year, early in the season, he beat a ball off his foot against the Phillies in San Francisco, broke his foot, and was out almost 3 months. Swinging a foul tip, held on to. He has not had good numbers against Sid Fernandez, even though he's a right-handed batter. And there you see him, just 3 for 27. No homers and no runs batted in. Strike 2 call from Fernandez. There's Matt Williams against left-handers. That's kind of surprising. Against right-handers, 385. A couple of years ago, he really started to keep his shoulder in better, though, and he's become such a force since then.
Well, you watch Williams when he's at the plate. He's continually tucking that chin against that front shoulder. And what he's doing is reminding himself, keep that front shoulder in, keep it in, keep it in.
Slow curveball, and he jammed himself, popped it up. Who wants it? Santiago out, and Benito makes the play. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and the Giants will leave 1. Phil's bat in the bottom of the first, no score.
Hey, all you hard-driving, power tie, power lunch business persons, chill out, warm up with the second of 5 Melon PSFS business person specials. Wednesday, May 15th, when the Phillies play the Giants at 1:05. Call 463-1000 in your power voice.
And the heater is on. In the Phillies dugout, Benito Santiago hoping to get an at-bat in the first inning, warming up his hands. And here's the way the Phillies will bat against Mark Gardner. Lenny Dykstra in center field, Mickey Morandini at second, Jim Eisenreich at left, Todd Zeile the third baseman, Benito Santiago catches, Glenn Murray at right, J.R. Phillips the first baseman, Kevin Stocker shortstop on the mound, Sid Fernandez. And we are ready to go as Lenny Dykstra is in the batter's box to face 6'1", 205-pound right-hander Mark Gardner, 34 years of age. Born in Los Angeles, California, grew up in Fresno.
There's the Gardner's numbers so far this year. This is Gardner's 6th start of the season. He's made 8 appearances overall. Appeared a couple times early in the season out of the bullpen for the San Francisco Giants.
And when you face Mark Gardner, Teak, I guess that's what you have to look for is a curveball.
Look for the curveball. It's by far his best pitch and the one that he is most comfortable with, and he will throw it and throw it and throw it, and then think about it and throw it again.
Right. He's not going to throw a whole lot of sliders and changeups. He's going to throw mostly fastball, curveball. There's another one, and it's over for a strike. 3 call, and Dykstra can't believe it. He sure didn't like the one before that. And now he's jawing a little bit with Gorman, and you need to keep him in the game as he's telling him there's no way that was a strike.
Well, we'll take a look at it right here. The Gardner curveball. It's a late breaking curveball. Lenny thought it was a little bit high. Brian Gorman said no, that was low enough. So it appears as if early on we can figure that Gorman's going to call that high curveball a strike.
Here's Mickey Morandini takes a pitch over for a strike. I think Lenny was really ticked off about the second pitch, which he thought was outside, and that one which was a little high. Misses 1-1. There's Mickey against Gardner, good numbers, and Mickey has been hot in his last 3 games, 6 for 12, batting at .500, had 3 hits yesterday. Strike called with a fastball, 1-2. On deck is Eisenreich, 3 straight left-handed batters at the top of the lineup. Gardner was an 8th-round draft pick of the Montreal Expos back in June of 1985. That's with whom he made his major league debut. Phillies have also seen him in the uniform of the Florida Marlins last year. There's another hook. Struck him out looking. 2 up and 2 down on curveballs.
Starts Morandini off with a curveball, 3 straight fastballs, comes back again with the high curveball, just about the same spot as it was to Dykstra. Ball's probably a little bit higher as it passes the front edge of the plate, but with that big looping curve on it, it drops down into the zone, and Gorman's calling that. So the Phillies hitters are going to have to be conscious of the fact that the high curveball is going to be called a strike this evening.
Eisenreich, the batter. You know, guys that throw high curveballs sometimes have trouble with umpires who don't stay with it. Gardner right now has to think, hallelujah, I got this guy. 0-2 on another hook. So Gardner has come out throwing his best pitch for strikes tonight, and that's when he's most effective. There's another one. It bounces up there. The appeal to third, no, says Mike Winters. Eisenreich did not swing as the ball bounced away from Steve Decker, the catcher. Eisenreich, who hits well against almost every team, it seems, at .292 against these Giants. Spoils fastball. With that curveball the way he's throwing it, they're going to have trouble getting swings at fastballs, it would appear, when he gets ahead.
Yeah, the hitters are going to be defensive. And speaking of defense, defensively for the Giants, Mark Carrion at first, Robbie Thompson at second, Sean Dunston just off the disabled list at short, Matt Williams at third.
There's a defensive swing. Here comes Dunston on the run. Shaw throws safe. Eisenreich could still motor down that line, gets an infield hit. First hit of the ballgame for the Phillies, an infield single for Jim Eisenreich.
Check swing by Eisenreich, just slams the ball right down in the ground, but gets out of the box in a hurry. Sean Dunston with a strong arm comes in and gets rid of the ball, but Eisy, because he was able to get out of the box in a hurry, was able to beat the throw at first base and beat it quite easily, actually. Beat it by about a full step.
And that will bring up Todd Zeile, batting at .318 in his last 6 games. Gets a fastball and a called strike on the outside corner.
Just to finish off that Giants defense, Barry Bonds is in left, Stan Javier in center, Glenn Allen Hill is in right, and Steve Decker is doing the catching tonight for the Giants. So that completes the Giants defensively.
Fastball fouled back, so Zeile gets all fastballs after he's throwing the left-hander curveballs, the left-handed hitters. If you're used to Kurt Manwaring being back there, the all-star catcher for the Giants has a broken hand, is on the disabled list. Look at Zeile's numbers against Gardner. No balls, 2 strikes, and move over to first. Back in time is Eisenreich. Gardner, according to the reports, pretty quick to home plate. But if you pick that curveball to run on, you can steal a base against him.
Yeah, it takes a while for that slow curveball to get to the plate. Decker will have a tough time throwing Philly runners out if indeed they run on the curveball.
There's another fastball. So Zeile, thinking he's going to get a curveball sooner or later, started to dive into that pitch and almost got hit. It's 1-2.
They talk about Manwaring with the fractured hand not being able to catch. Kind of an odd thing. Normally when catchers get their hands broke, it's usually the right hand because they are taking a foul tip or something off the fingers. Manwaring has a broken left hand, so that's the glove hand. It takes a little longer to be able to play after when your glove hand is broken.
Double pumps on a hook. Here comes Matt Williams on a big hop. Throws high. Carrion has the bag and gone to the Phillies in the first inning. No runs, a hit, no errors. They leave 1. After 1, no score.
The Dodgers, Tuesday, May 28th, 7:35. The Dodgers, Wednesday, May 29th, 7:35. The Dodgers, Thursday, May 30th, 7:35. The Padres, Friday, May 31st at 7:35. The Padres, Saturday, June 1st at 7:05. When it's photo night, and you can take pictures of your favorite Phils on the field before the game. The Padres, Sunday, June 2nd at 1:35. When all fans 14 and under get a Mellon PSFS All-Star Collectible T-shirt. Call 463-1000.
Join Bo Lazinski, Cash Allen, many other Phillies stars at Phillies Dream Week next February in beautiful Clearwater, Florida. It's 1 full week to live, learn, and play with the pros. Lots of other guys will be there, like Kent Tekulve, Larry Anderson, Von Hayes, Bob Dernier, and Jim Fregosi. But don't delay, that roster will fill up quicker and quicker every year. And they'll take your call at 215-938-1200. You can make that call right now, and they'll get back to you. 215-938-1200. Phillies Dream Week. We will see you next year in beautiful Clearwater. Mark Carrion, another son of a former Major League player, leads it off. Carrion has taken over the first base job. In fact, J.R. Phillips was the first baseman early last year. And Carrion has put up some pretty good numbers so far this year. One of the rare players, a position player, who throws left and bats right.
Yeah, usually it's the other way around. You see a lot of guys that throw right and bat left, but a rarity when you see them on this side where they throw left and bat right. Of course, the Phillies have one. Terry Mulholland throws left and bats right, but not a position player.
Right.
I guess he swings from the right side.
He swings from the right side.
This guy bats from the right side.
This guy's got some pop. You see how hot he's been in the last 10 days. He's hit safely at 16 out of 20, batting at a .342 clip, and has his average all the way up to .297. Mark Carrion used to be with the New York Mets, and he's always had power potential. Feet kind of close together. You don't see many guys do that nowadays. They're either spread out or wide open. Curveball, and he waits on it. Sid did not break right away, and here comes Phillips, and he got it. Good play by Phillips. Well, when you talk about the San Francisco Giants, we already mentioned him once tonight. Greatest player I ever saw, and Todd Kalas is with him right now. The Say Hey Kid himself, Willie Howard Mays. There he is.
That's right, Wills. It is definitely a pleasure and an honor to invite Willie Mays aboard our little PRISM broadcast here. Willie, first of all, welcome to the show and the program. And what brings you out to the vet?
Well, I work for Valley, as you well know, and we bring about 50 or 60 people to the game, and it's always a pleasure to, come to a game, especially when the Giants are playing, Philly.
I know you certainly had to do some visiting before the game, and you still keep in touch, obviously, and stay on top of what the Giants are doing on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I try and do that. I try and make sure that I know what's going on around the league, and especially with, where I'm going. So I'm just around whenever they need me.
Willie, you're close enough to the game that you can probably offer an interesting perspective. Is the game as much fun now as it used to be when you played?
Well, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for other guys, but when I played, I had fun, and I think they do. I think there's so much television around, and people think the ball players don't have fun, but I think they do. Everybody's talking about the money they're making, but I think that's secondary.
Well, I got to see Willie just towards the tail end of his career, Wheels. I know you saw him in the prime, and I'm honored to be standing next to him, one of the all-time greats, if not the best. And Willie, thank you for joining us tonight, and good luck the rest of the way.
Say hello to Richard for me, will you?
We'll say hello to that Richie Ashford for you as well. All right, Wheels team.
Here's Sean Dunston. I'll tell you, that's just a thrill to hear him. I love Willie Mays, watching him play, and I mean that. I can't imagine anybody has ever had his tools or was any better player than Willie Mays.
Well, you talk about a guy that could do it all. Hits for average, power, stealing bases, playing defense,
Throw.
the whole package.
He was the whole package. He was so much fun to watch. Sean Dunston loops one into right field, and that's a base hit, taken on 2 hops by Glenn Murray. It's great to see Mays still comes around. You do see him out in San Francisco sometimes around the Giants, and that he'll come here to Veterans Stadium, and he loves Whitey. I mean, they played together against each other and had so many battles, and were such great center fielders at the same time. And Willie always wants to talk about Richie Ashburn.
And works the other way, too. Whitey's always talking about Willie Mays and what a great player he was, and they were 2 of the best.
Yeah, that was just neat to see him. Here is Steve Decker, the catcher, in his last 13 games batting at a .370 clip. He has started 17 games. This is his 18th tonight. They look to be doing what most teams do against Sid, and that's try to put that curveball in play and look for his fastball, because that curveball is the type of one, that you're not really going to drive it too often unless you flat out look for it, and then he'll throw the fastball by.
Throws the fastball right by you.
There he goes. Dunston runs. Santiago from his knees can't get it. Stolen base, Sean Dunston, his first of the year. Dunston has had a groin problem and was on the disabled list.
Well, apparently the groin is healed quite nicely. Dunston off and running. Santiago's throwing 1 hop to Morandini, but they weren't going to get Dunston at second base.
Sean Dunston right there, the longtime Chicago Cub who looked like he was out of baseball with a bad back, has made a great comeback and was playing really well for the Giants before hurting that groin. He had had a 13-game hitting streak, or a 12-game hitting streak between April 1st and the 20th, and then later on hurt the groin, and they just brought him back today. And Kim Baptiste, who was with the Phillies for a number of years, was let go today by the Giants to make room for Dunston. 2-0 on Decker, with Gardner, the pitcher, on deck. High 3-0. Sid doesn't walk that many, and it almost appears that he's pitching around Decker now with that base open. Now they're going to walk him.
Yeah, once you've gone to this point and you're going to go ahead and pitch around him anyway, why not go ahead and make it an intentional walk? Remove the possibility of making a bad pitch on 3-0. You have a feeling that Decker would probably get a green light with the pitcher on deck, so just eliminate that possibility. If you want to pitch to the pitcher, get him up there, and that's exactly what Jim Fergusi elected to do.
There you see, Sid. That's a good walk-strikeout ratio. 9.6 strikeouts.
Number 26, pitcher Mark
and less than
Gardner.
9 base runners per 9 innings, and everybody knows who watches him that he doesn't give up a whole lot of hits normally. They already have 3 hits off him tonight. Gardner batting at .214. He is 3 for 14 on the year. Gardner never been much of a hitter throughout his career. He picked up the pace a little bit at the end of last season, and this year that's real good for a pitcher, 3 for 14. 2 on 2 outs here in the second inning. No score. Fouled away right side now to play. And the count 0-2 now on the pitcher Mark Gardner. See, Gardner just a 121 lifetime batter in 215 career at-bats with no homers and 9 runs batted in. One of those RBIs coming this season. So Sid Fernandez with the base open pitches around Decker and then walks him, and now expects to get Gardner out. And he's ahead of him 0-2. Got him, struck him out looking. Strikeout number 1 for Fernandez. For the Giants, no runs a hit, no errors, and they leave 2 men on base. And we will leave with a ball, and that is signed by the great Say Hey Kid himself, Willie Mays. Well, just in case there is no Game 7 for the Flyers on Thursday night, can political speechwriters find love while working for opposing candidates? Gina Davis and Michael Keaton star in the romantic comedy Speechless Thursday night at 9 o'clock exclusively on PRISM. And I know a lot of people hope there's a hockey game on that night. And that's a curveball that Benito bails out on. And of course, we will have that game for you right here on PRISM, should in fact there be a game number 7, which everybody in Philadelphia hopes there is.
I think everybody would rather watch hockey than a movie.
That's a real good movie, but they'd rather watch a hockey game.
And watch that another time.
Exactly. Santiago took a seat on that pitch. Benny has 21 career home runs against these Giants. Most that he has against any club. And he batted .400 against San Francisco last year while playing with the Reds. He's laughing about that first pitch because he was a little embarrassed because it was a curveball and he went down like a shot. Santiago, Murray, and Phillips. Fouled away by Benito into the press box. A nasty foul ball. Hope everybody's all right. Off to our right. There you see Santiago's career numbers against the Giants overall. As I mentioned, 21 homers is his number 1 total against any ball club. 2-1 on him. Fastball fouled back. So Gardner basically fastball curveball so far. I don't know that he's thrown anything else. Really hasn't had to do that.
No, it really doesn't throw much but fastball and the curveball.
Well, 2 pitches on entirely different planes, huge speed difference. And here comes a hook. Curveball beaten down the line. Matt Williams, a real good play. Low throw dug out nicely by Carrion. And Santiago is retired, 1 out here in the second. Matt Williams has 8 errors this year, which is a really high total for him.
He does a nice job on this ball. It was one of those in-between balls. He had to go back to throw a little bit low over the first base, but Carrion able to pull it out. See, Matt sees where the hop is and then realizes he has to shuffle back just a little bit. If he tried to make that play coming in, he was going to cut on a short hop and didn't want to do that.
So we're talking to some of to Mike Krukow, some of the broadcasters for the Giants. They say they put some new grass in at Candlestick, and it's just growing. And it's like rocket ball out there right now. It's evidently Bermuda, which is great for golf, but not that great for infielders evidently at this point.
Well, in San Francisco for years, the grass in the infield has always been very thick and very slow, so I'm sure it's a big adjustment right now for all the Giant infielders to get used to that faster infield surface that they put on out there.
And they, of course, say Matt Williams is not going to make any mistakes or any excuses because he won't, but it has affected him a little bit. Glenn Murray, the count 2-2 as he swung through a fastball and takes one there for a strike. The board has the fastball of Gardner's up at 89 miles per hour. Late swing and a foul first base side by Murray. Glenn had a couple of hits in that 3-game series and a run batted in as he faced that nasty triumvirate of Smoltz, Avery, and Maddox in his rookie weekend. Curveball popped up. Here comes Decker over. He'll run out of room as it hits on the top of the Phillies dugout and back into the crowd. So the count remains 2-2. We're in the bottom of the second inning, first of 3 with these Giants. And there's no score. San Francisco coming into the game at 19-17. The Phillies a game over 500, 18-17. Curveball and a beauty struck him out looking. That's 3 for Gardner, all on hooks. Gardner had 8 strikeouts in his last outing in 6 2/3 innings.
All 3 strikeouts on curveballs, all 3 looking. Again, the high curveball by Gardner, where he lets it go and it drops down into strike zone. That one was the best of the 3 as far as being legitimate.
Yeah, there's no argument on that one. Here's the former Giant, J.R. Phillips, and he starts him with a curveball, 0-1. Phillips with his first hit in a Phillies uniform yesterday, a home run to right center field off Brad Kluntz. Tries to check on a high fastball, it's 0-2. Told Todd Kalas prior to the game that he's real happy to be playing against the Giants, getting a chance. Outside, the Giants gave him a real chance, and he just didn't do it for them, and they decided to finally let him go. He was out of options, so they couldn't send him down. Here's the 1-2. Low with a breaking ball, 2-2. Tika, if this guy throws something else, let me know, will you?
It's going to be fastball breaking ball.
Locked into fastball breaking ball right now.
That'll be it.
There's another one, a breaking ball, 3-2. Will he throw one 3-2? We shall see. Let's see what they want to do. Yes, he will throw one. Nope. He just singled now fastball away he wants to go. And he struck him out on a fastball. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left through 2. No score.
Lights, camera, action! You can take photos of your favorite Phillies right on the field. Photo night clicks in Saturday, June 1st, before the Phillies play the Padres at 7:05. Gates open at 5:05. Call 463-1000 to order tickets.
Business Person Special number 2, Mellon PSFS Business Person Special, is coming up on Wednesday with these San Francisco Giants at 1:05, and it's supposed to be all the way up in the 70s by then, so it should be a gorgeous May afternoon. So come on out, midday, midweek fun for everyone. For your tickets, just stop by the Mellon PSFS ticket office at Broad and Chestnut Streets or call 463-1000. We'll see you out here on Wednesday, Business Person Special number 2, Phillies and the Giants at 1:05. Top of the order, Stan Javier will lead it off, followed by Robbie Thompson and then Barry Bonds. Javier led off with a bloop single to center, then was erased on a double play ball hit by Robbie Thompson. He lines that one to left center field, a long run Eisenreich, he won't get there. Javier will have a ground rule double as it bounces over. That's his 4th double of the year. Then the Giants with a leadoff double here in the 3rd inning, and Thompson the batter.
We're talking about Sid Fernandez. You have to guess fastball or curveball. Javier obviously guessing fastball and guessed right on the first pitch. Because of the disparity between those 2 pitches and the speed of them, you really can't look for one and adjust for the other one. So you almost have to pick one and take your chances. Javier that time picked the fastball and came out smelling like a rose. He got a ground rule double to lead off the 3rd inning for the Giants.
But now Thompson, who had started to say first time up, then he swung at the first pitch, is a real good 2-hole hitter because he hits the ball all over the place. And Robbie Thompson can hit the ball to the right side. So you would look for him to do that rather than bunt, but we'll see how they work it. Bonds on deck, and they want to get that runner to 3rd for him. And he bunts. Or he bunts through it. And it's a strike. So on the first pitch, Dusty Baker wants Robbie Thompson to bunt, try to get Javier to 3rd base. Wendell Kim, 3rd base coach, goes through the signs. Robbie Thompson has also had a stint on the DL this year. He's been bothered the last few seasons by real bad back problems. Takes it off, and he takes a fastball outside. Here's Dusty Baker, the manager, with Bobby Bonds beside him. Dusty in his 4th season as a skipper of the Giants. And there you see his record. They had a great year a few years ago. 93 matching the Braves game for game till the very end. But they don't have to worry about those Braves anymore, and I'm sure they're very happy about that.
Well, they have to worry about them, but they don't have to play in the same division with them anymore. That was always kind of amazed me how the Atlanta Braves were in the Western Division anyway.
Right. Well, they're glad they're gone. The Giants are, and Thompson now in the hole 1 and 2, so he won't be bunting anymore. And Thompson will still try and move the runner if possible. There's Javier at second. And a 1-2 count to Robbie Thompson. Takes a fastball away. Tough pitch to stay off, especially when you're thinking about hitting it to right field.
And Thompson's the kind of guy that even though he has 2 strikes on him, is still going to try to find a way to move the ball to the right side of the infield. A lot of hitters, once they get to 2 strikes, are just looking for the ball and trying to hit it hard somewhere. But Thompson will at least make an effort if he can get a pitch to try to move it over to the right side.
Yeah, this guy's a situation player and always has been. Fernandez looks back at Javier. Javier unlikely to run with nobody out. If Thompson were not able to get him over, he could think about it. Stocker's going to come in and keep him a little closer. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Robbie Thompson. And the pitch to him. Struck him out on a high fastball. Thompson was thinking right field, couldn't get it done. Couldn't quite pull the trigger in time. Now here comes Bonds.
Good pitch by Sid Fernandez, because when hitters are trying to hit the ball the other way, you would think that the ball away is easier to hit than the ball in, but it's just the opposite. All the good hitters that I've talked to that are good at hitting the ball the other way say that they would rather have the ball on the inside part of the plate where they can inside out it, as opposed to having to try to extend the arms and drive it the other way. So Sid goes away with a good hard fastball and gets Thompson.
Yeah, they always talk about trying to work the ball. Now the base is open. Matt Williams is on deck. We're only in the 3rd inning, so they're pitching to him. Bonds had a base hit to left field his first time up. Javier with a good lead at second. And Fernandez looks at him, and Bonds fouls it away left side out of play. You know, even in the 3rd inning, I think sometimes Fergosi would think about putting him on, but not with Sid Fernandez out there, because Sid Fernandez has to be his best bowler, I think, to try and get this guy out.
Well, to get him out, and he knows that Sid, being a veteran, knows that, you know, even though there is a base open, you can still go ahead and pitch Bonds carefully, try to make him hit your pitch, and not give in if you get behind in the count. So it's a little bit of trusting in your veteran pitcher right here.
Inside, 2-1. So those great slugging numbers on Barry Bonds, who leads the league in total bases with 104 and has a fan there, as you saw the sign up for him. 1 ball and 1 strike on Bonds. And there you see him with runners in scoring position. He doesn't have a whole lot of negatives. Ooh, Javier was going to go then, it looked like. Sid Fernandez turned around just in time, because Javier, as we mentioned, might think about running with 1 out. And he was. He's stolen 3 bases in 3 attempts thus far. Does not go, and Bonds takes the curveball high. 2-1 to Barry Bonds. Bonds now with a 14-game hitting streak, and he's hit safely in 21 of his last 23 ball games. Always chokes up. Where's that guard on his right forearm? Another curveball misses. 3-1. And Bonds stays off the curveballs and gets himself ahead in the count.
It's interesting, too, you mentioned about Bonds choking up on the bat. You think of the guys that hit the home runs as the long ball hitters, the guys that swing it from the end, but Bonds leads the major league with 17 home runs, and still he's up on the bat and is always up on the bat.
That is amazing. See how Fernandez approaches him here. 3-1. A high fastball, swing and a miss as he chased it. And you know Bonds is telling himself, don't swing at the high fastball from Fernandez. And you can see the look on his face like, oh, I did it.
Well, it's a 3-1 count, and he's looking for something hard. Got the pitch, but it was just a shade up out of the strike zone. Bonds really likes the ball down a little bit more than he does up. If you can get him to swing at that ball up out of the strike zone, you've got a chance, but it better have something on it.
Foul off another good pitch. But Bonds is red hot, and you can tell because Fernandez has made some good pitches to him, and he puts them in play, fouls them off. He's talking to himself a little bit. He used to look down there at first base at his daddy. He was telling him to keep his shoulder in. And now, as we mentioned, Jim Davenport, the first base coach. Fernandez working real hard right now on the hottest hitter in the league, Barry Bonds. Javier, another good lead at second. Curveball missed. Inside, ball 4. He walked. A great battle between those two, and that was a close pitch.
Well, Sid had been with the fastball up until 3-2, stayed with it the first time, then goes to the curveball, the big slow looper on the inside part of the plate. Tried to get the call from Brian Gorman, didn't get it, but as I mentioned earlier, Sid Fernandez, the veteran that he is, even though he got ahead in the count on Bonds, even though it went to 3-2, still was pitching Bonds very carefully.
See Fergosi looking on, so they did not walk Bonds intentionally, but he walks anyway. And here you still have a lot of trouble, because here's Matt Williams, who popped up his first time in fair territory to Santiago. San Francisco Giants have hit 56 home runs already this year, and that's the projection for a 162-game season, 252 bombs. That would be pretty amazing. The record in the National League is 221. The Major League record is 240, of course, set by the 61 Yankees with Maris and Mantle. Swing and a miss at a fastball. Another right-handed batter with power on deck, Mark Carrion. So Sid Fernandez has been in trouble all 3 innings. So far, there's no score in this game. What happened to the top of Matt's helmet there?
Oh, dinged it on something. A snowball fell on him.
Really?
A snowball fight, and Matt got hit in the top of the helmet.
Had a collision with something, with a white car there. Pulling off a little bit to Sid Fernandez, and he's throwing that ball by him. You can see that shoulder opening up early, and it's 1-2. You know nobody's playing a practical joke on him. You don't do that with Matt Williams.
No, he just take that. Sometime or another, the helmet has been tapped against something very gingerly.
There's your situation here in the 3rd inning. Sid got him on a curveball last time. Another fastball, swing and a miss, throw to third, safe, double steal. Matt Williams strikes out, but a double steal by the Giants. 2 outs, runners at second and third.
Fernandez again goes with the fastball and throws it right by Williams. Javier, you mentioned, with good speed at second base, got a good jump. Fernandez not paying a whole lot of attention to him. Gets into third base, even though there was a strong throw from Santiago, gets in there very easily.
And luckily for the Phillies, he gets there with 2 outs. Does that pitch the strikeout? And there you see the runners. Bonds at second and Javier at third. 2 outs for Carrion. Curveball. Tough play for Zio on the run. Low throw. Got it. Good play. And Sid Fernandez gets out of another jam. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 men left on base, and the Giants have now left 5 of them. Still no score.
You're sure to stand out in your collectible All-Star t-shirt. You get free compliments of Mellon PSFS. Sunday, June 2nd, 1:35 if you're 14 and under. The Phillies play the Padres and All-Star Tony Gwynn. Call 463-1000.
Sid Fernandez able to pitch out of jams in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd innings. Giants have 4 hits in the ballgame. Phillies with just 1, but no score, as you see, as we go to the bottom of the 3rd inning. Kevin Stocker, Sid Fernandez, and then Lenny Dykstra against Mark Gardner, who has struck out 4 through 2, and Todd Zeile making a good play on that number hit by Carrion to end the inning. Here's Stocker at 209, 231 right-handed, 205 from the left side. And Gardner starts him with a fastball away. They're up at the corners a little bit for Stocker, who does bunt occasionally. You see Williams, the 3rd baseman, carrying the 1st baseman. Stocker breaks his bat on 1 hop to Robbie Thompson, throws him out. And that's the 1st out here in the 3rd. Phillies baseball day camps for boys and girls 7 to 14 years of age. 17 great locations. Plus, get a once-in-a-lifetime chance to enjoy a day of fun right here at Veterans Stadium. 5 different camp sessions the weeks of June 24th, July 22nd, and 29th, August 5th, and 12th. Call that number on your screen, 610-446-3636. That is 610-446-3636 for Phillies baseball day camps. And Fernandez 2 for 13 on the year. And Gardner getting ahead of everybody is 0-2 on Fernandez. He has breezed through the first 8 hitters basically. Phillies' only hit is a high chop single to short by Eisenreich and almost a check swing.
See Lenny Dykstra on deck. He went down on 3 pitches the first time around.
Sid says, all right, but give me that one too. Struck him out. Number 5 for Gardner. His career high is 11, which he tied this year in an 8-0 whitewash of the Atlanta Braves. Here's Dykstra. Gardner lifetime against the Phillies, 11 games, a 2-2 record with an earned run average of 4.28. Last year in 3 games against the Phils with no record. And Dykstra, who was called out on a curveball his first time up, and as Teak said, did not like it at all, takes a fastball for ball 1. Foul away, left side, right near the radio booth, and maybe in it. It could have gone in our buddy's booth down there.
I want to talk about Whitey and what great defense he played for all those years. I'm sure it was not a problem for him if it did go in there.
Well, lucky for him, we're told it went just over the ball.
Oh, okay.
Well, he's smart. He doesn't try to catch him. There's that curveball. He misses this time. You saw Dykstra follow it all the way in the glove and then turn around and look at Brian Gorman and say, now that one's not a strike. Oh, that's a first 3-ball count, I believe, that he has run.
I believe you are correct.
I'm trying to think, maybe on Eisenreich. Anyway, 3 balls and 1 strike now on Dykstra, and they'll go fastball away to him. And then he hits it that way and hard, but Bonds is right there. Easy play for Barry Bonds. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Through 3 innings of play, there is no score in a well-pitched ball game. Andy Musser is going to be back for play-by-play in the 4th inning to join Kent Tekulve. And there have been a lot of nice improvements made around Veterans Stadium this year. And for a report on that and other things from Todd, here he is.
All right, Wheels, thank you very much. You know, no longer is it going to the ball game, buying some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. There's a whole slew of activities going on here at Veterans Stadium, and a lot of them are oriented towards kids. We took a chance the other day and went downstairs, and I was the guinea pig. A lot of interactive venues to check out, and here's just a preview of what we might see during Pinnacle Fan Fest. This is solo hitter on the concourse level. A Louisville aluminum bat, an orange strip. The orange strip has to hit the ball, and then you find out how far you hit it. Let's see if I can hit it at all. Woo! 154. I don't even have deep shortstop power. $174. What's up with that? Cassandra, what's going on with this machine? Are these things plugged in? Oh man. 181. Guys, I'm having a little trouble with my power down here. Solo hitter, I am not. Let's send it back up to Teak and Chris.
Thank you very much, Todd. Interesting venues all around Veterans Stadium here, and Todd just got a piece of the first one. We'll show you some more as this year goes on. We need to have your help at home tonight. If you will help us vote for the player of the game, get on the internet, PRISM link at AOL.com. Let us know who you think should be tonight's player of the game. This is a low-scoring affair so far. No score at all as the Phillies and the Giants head to the top of the 4th inning scoreless. Chris Wheeler wasn't able to do a whole lot in here, Andy, so we'll turn it over to you and see what you can do.
Well, let's see what we can do here, Teakwood. Glenn Allen Hill to lead it off. One thing is the Giants are picking up some hits off Sid. He gave up only 2 in 7 innings in his performance against Houston on Wednesday. He's given up 4 already tonight. But one thing we know about Sid, he gets tough when there are men on base. And that's exactly what he's done tonight. He got Hill on a pop-up first time around. Curveball, and he catches the plate with it. Glenn Allen Hill hitting at .258. Hill has been with Toronto, Cleveland, the Cubs, and now the Giants. Curveball again. Hill takes a swat, no contact. He struck out 5 times in a ball game here at the Vet, and the interesting thing about it was that was in August of last year. He did it against 5 different pitchers.
So you can't say one guy was picking on him that day.
No. One of them is a current teammate now, Jeff Juden. Fastball misses, 1-2 the count. Juden struck him out in the 2nd. Russ Springer struck him out in the 3rd. Toby Borland in the 7th. Vitalico in the 9th. And Heathcliff Slocum in the 10th. He was 0 for 6 in that ball game. Sid with 50 pitches tonight. And a fine ratio. One-two pitch to Hill. Got him. High fastball. Strikeout number 4 for El Cid.
Again, good pitch selection by Sid Fernandez. Hill looking bad on a couple curveballs early in the count. Has to be conscious of the fact that he looked bad, and then Sid throws the fastball right by him up and out of the strike zone. Just because a guy looks bad on a certain pitch every once in a while, you don't just keep throwing it. You have to use the other ones, and Sid does a nice job of showing him the fastball and then getting him out on the fastball up out of the zone.
Dunston singled to right field and stole a base, his first of the year, when he was up in the 2nd inning. Pitches a strike. Sean just back to work today. He had suffered a groin muscle injury. Actually first got the injury back in April 9th. Tried to play with it for a while. Finally put on the DL and has just come off the disabled list today. Pitches inside a ball. You know, Teak, it's amazing with all the back trouble this guy's had. He's still a guy who loves the game. Hail fellow, well met. Surprisingly bright personality. Just a fun guy to be around.
And you mentioned the back problem. Still plays the position of shortstop, which is probably the most difficult position in the infield as far as your back goes. You have to make a lot of quick starts and a lot of off-balance throws.
Picks on the curveball and sends it into center field for his 2nd hit. So Sean Dunston is 2 for 2 tonight, and that's hit number 5 off Sid.
After a couple of fastballs, Fernandez shows him the curveball. A pretty good pitch down in the zone, but Dunston able to stay back. A little bit of a double clutch in there, but then slams the ball into the center of the field. Sean Dunston with a good little bit of hitting right there.
Stole a base last time he was aboard. Here's Decker. Decker was eventually given an intentional walk last time. Started out pitching to him and then decided to make it intentional. Misses here, ball 1. The pitcher coming up next. Sid's pitched a lot of this game from the stretch tonight, which is not necessarily like him.
Sid with that throw over to first base. You remember back in the 2nd inning when Dunston stole 2nd base, got a very good jump off of Fernandez. So you want to throw over there and make him conscious that you know he's over there.
A little bit low to Decker. 2 balls and no strikes. Base stealers 6 out of 7 against Sid. He has not picked off anybody. Secret there, of course, is if you could pick the curveball, you got a heck of a chance.
Well, you pick the curveball and Sid with the big leg kick. So once he does decide to go to the plate, it does take him, even though he's left-handed and looking first base, it does take him a little bit of a while to get rid of the ball.
That was right at Decker, so he has fallen behind Decker 3-0 with the pitcher coming up next. And then Javier coming up behind him, who's 2 for 2 tonight. Two of the Giants who've been the toughest have been Javier and Dunston. They have 4 of the 5 hits. Talking with Kurt Manwaring before the ball game, he expects to be back in a week or so. He has a broken left hand, bone in his hand. Well, they lighted him 3-0, and Decker didn't make any contact. He's not happy with himself.
As I get a 3-0 pitch, I know I'm going to get a fastball. I'm looking for the fastball. He throws it, and I still can't hit it.
Popped it up. Phillips retreating at first. Makes the catch in foul territory for the out. Well, that's a big out for Sid, because now he goes after the pitcher with a runner at first and 2 down.
You mentioned Javier, the leadoff hitter behind the pitcher, so Sid has a chance now to get out of this inning without having to face Stan Javier in this particular inning. You would imagine with 2 outs now that Dunston would be less likely to steal. If he gets thrown out, then he leaves the pitcher at the plate where he's going to have to lead off the next inning, so probably not going to be running.
Gardner takes a cut but misses. He was called out on strikes first time tonight. Gardner is 3 for 15 this year, making him a 200 hitter. The Giants have one good hitting pitcher, that Alan Watson, who knocked in 4 runs for him yesterday. Strike 2. Watson last year led all National League pitchers, hitting .417. He was a member of the Cardinals last year. Phillies are going to obviously miss Watson in this series because of the fact that he worked yesterday. Probably catch him next time in San Francisco. 0-2 pitch. It's outside, 1-2 on Gardner.
The count that Sid Fernandez wants to make something happen. You don't want to go 3-2 against the opposing pitcher. Get yourself in a position where if you miss with 1 pitch, you walk him. So you would like to take him out right here if you can.
Gets in, called 3rd strike for the 2nd time on Gardner. Strikeout number 5 for Sid. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on base. We continue in a scoreless game.
Rays and Rhine coming up. Rays is in the ones you'll catch when you catch the Chicago Cubs in the warm afternoon sun. Wednesday, June 12th at 1:05 for a Mellon PSFS Business Person Special. And Rhine is in Sandberg, the All-Star who's coming back for this All-Star season. The first 2 games in the Cubs series are Monday and Tuesday, June 10th and 11th at 7:35. When you're not likely to catch the sun, but you are likely to catch a good game and have a good time. Call 463-1000.
Well, here at Veterans Stadium tonight, we've seen the Giants get some base runners and have some chances. The Phillies have had just 1 infield hit. That by Eisenreich, who will bat this inning, but so far the pitchers have had it when they've needed it. Morandini was called out on strikes and walked away without complaint as Gardner got him with a curveball. Well, Mickey had a great game yesterday. A couple of triples, steal of home. Some nice defensive plays. It was an all-around great day for Mickey yesterday, and he is 6 for his last 13 at the plate.
I talked to Mickey a few days ago, right before he hit that streak, and we were talking about how he said the ball looked real small to him when it was coming up to the plate. Wasn't seeing it well at all. I walked by him today. I said, "Mick, is it getting any bigger?" I said, "Yeah, it looked pretty good the other day."
I guess. Now there's Gardner getting a strike on that outside corner. It's 2-2. So Gardner now has reached 50 pitches, and his ratio just about the same as Sid's was at that point. On the corner, and Mickey is out again. Strikeout number 6 for Gardner, who fanned 11 Braves back on April 25th to tie a career high.
First time the curveball appeared to be a little bit high to Morandini. This time he gets him with the fastball. Appeared to be a little bit off the outside part of the plate, so 2 times up Morandini called out on pitches that I'm sure he thought may not have been strikes.
That curveball is a strike. Eisenreich with the only Phillies hit, and it was an infield single that he just beat out. Dunston had the ball and threw over to first just a little late. Another curveball, another strike. That's what Gardner was doing in the first inning, just pouring that curveball over.
Yeah, he's really got that curveball wired, and as we mentioned earlier, Brian Gluman calling the high curveball tonight, so that's good for a pitcher like Gardner.
This one got to Dunston quicker, and Dunston throws him out. Well, we've got T-shirt day coming up here, Sunday, June 2nd, 1:35 with the Padres. A spectacular all-star design emblazoned on the front of a white T-shirt for all fans 14 and under. Compliments of Mellon PSFS. Make your plans early. Order your tickets by calling 463-1000 or stop by the Center City ticket office at Mellon PSFS Broad and Chestnut Streets. Todd Zio grounded out to third his first time up. He takes high for a ball. Base is empty, 2 out. Both pitchers getting it done in their own ways. Gardner's been a little quicker about his work than Sid has, but they're both hanging the zeros up there inning by inning. 2-1. Leaving spring training, Gardner didn't even have a job. He was cut by the Marlins, signed by the Giants on the 29th of March. 3-1.
For the Marlins, with the pitching problems that they've had so far this year, obviously Mark Gardner was not throwing as well during spring training for them as he is throwing tonight.
Ground ball and base hit. Second hit for the Phillies to the left of Dunston. Zeal has a single. Phillies have their second hit of the night.
Against the right-handed hitters, Sean Dunston is shading way over toward the hole. This ball not that much off of straightaway shortstop, and yet it bounds its way into center field. So Todd Zeal bounces one up the middle. Dunston plays toward the hole, trying to take that ball away, and gives up the single up the middle.
And now Santiago, who was out for early batting practice today. Benito's been struggling a bit, and he fouls one off the right side. Benito now is just 1 for his last 21. That follows that pinch home run that he hit down in Atlanta last weekend.
Against right-handed hitters, Dunston has really been playing over toward the hole, giving up a lot of the middle of the field. Take a look at the defense and how far over he plays. He and Matt Williams are almost playing behind each other on the left side infield. A lot of room between Dunston and the bag in the middle of the field. So the right-handed hitters, if they can get the ball by Gardner up the middle, have a real good chance. The left-handed hitters, he's been playing more of a conventional straight-up shortstop position, but almost every right-handed hitter that's come up so far tonight, he has shaded well over toward the hole.
Be tough to hit one between Williams and Dunston, wouldn't it?
And you can bet that if Zeal is stealing, Dunston is not covering the bag in second.
That's for sure. That's up to Robbie Thompson. One ball and 1 strike on Santiago. He grounded out to third in his initial at-bat tonight. Well, I think everybody's anxious to see Kurt Schilling tomorrow night, see how Schill makes out in his 96 seasonal debut. And he'll be opposed by a fellow we've never seen, Osvaldo Fernandez, the Cuban refugee who was signed this past offseason by the Giants. That's out of play.
Yeah, Fernandez is a little bit iffy, I think, for tomorrow night. Possibility he may not make that start. He had a problem with his back his last start in St. Louis, so as of right now, he is the scheduled pitcher for the San Francisco Giants, but that one may have an asterisk behind it. I would imagine that if he does not pitch, Jose Bautista would probably be the guy to come out of the Giants' pen to start the game for the Giants. Batista was part of the starting rotation last year and started the season in the minor leagues this year. He's been called up and made a couple relief appearances, but he would be the logical candidate to grab the ball if indeed Fernandez can't make it.
Pop up. Thompson raging back after it. And that's the third out of the inning. Santiago out. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left on base. 4 innings complete. It's 0-0.
Pitchers who are starting the next day are normally the ones that keep the chart the night before. Osvaldo Fernandez is keeping the chart for the Giants this evening. See him right there with the clipboard in his lap, but as we mentioned, he may or may not be the starter tomorrow, just depending on how that back feels, I would imagine, when he wakes up tomorrow morning.
Well, that's one way to try to keep warm. That's the drill sergeant there, Dick Paul. Here we go. Leading off the 5th inning is Javier. Interesting that he is the leadoff man, of course, and he is getting his 3rd at bat now, each as a leadoff hitter. He has singled and doubled and stolen 1 base. Strike 1-1 on Javier. Stan was a member of the Phillies back in 1992. He hit .261 with the Phillies that year, getting into 74 ball games. He's been with the Yankees, with the A's, the Dodgers, the Angels, the A's again, where he was last year, and now the Giants. 1-2. He is named after Stan Musial. His daddy, of course, played on the Cardinals with Stan and named his son after the man. Out of play down the right side. Phillips giving chase. He's way over at the screen, and Javier broke his bat. He'll have to come back and get a new one.
Talk about guys that are on a roll. Sid Fernandez in his last 25 innings. Look at that earned run average, 0.72. You talk about Sid this year and the way he's pitched. Some of his best games have gone for naught. On opening day, he pitches 7 innings against the Rockies and gives up just 2 runs. He took the loss in that ball game. Against the Cardinals on the 20th of April, 8 innings, did not give up a run, got a no decision. And of course, his last ball game, 7 innings, gave up 1 run and got a no decision. So some of his best efforts have not resulted in wins.
And unfortunately, we're seeing that pattern here tonight, where the Phillies just have trouble, for some reason, trouble scoring runs when he's out there. And his run support tonight is 0. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Javier. Javier was not getting any hits at all. He was just 8 for his last 41 coming into the ball game. So these 2 tonight probably felt pretty good. He's just been off the disabled list the last 10 games. Hard hit ball, but Zeal's got it. Javier is out. 1 down in the 5th. That was sharply hit, but right at Todd.
Sharply hit ground ball, and Zeal just throws his body in front of it. Looks like an old reaction from his old catching days right there. Went to his knees, blocked the ball, came up and made the throw to first. Looks like blocking a ball in the dirt right there.
Well, he is an accurate thrower, too. I don't think I've seen him make a bad throw yet. He puts the ball right over there chest high to the first baseman every time. And now Robbie Thompson, 0 for 2. He's grounded to third into a double play and struck out. Takes a curveball, ball 1. Over the years, Thompson's had a lot of trouble with his back, a chronic bad back. Has battled quite a few injuries. Pop up, foul, out of play. But he is a good defensive second baseman, and every year the Giants are either at the top or near the top and turning double plays. He's one of the reasons they're second in DPs in the league right now. Florida Marlins happen to lead in that category. A category which is not necessarily a compliment to your pitching staff.
Yeah, it means you got good infielders and bad pitchers that have a lot of runners on.
That's right. Hit a long way the opposite way. Murray back. Nice play, Murray. Probably his most challenging play since joining the Phillies, and he makes the catch.
See a swing by Thompson right here, just goes with the pitch from Fernandez, hits it to right field. Now Glenn Murray's not all that familiar with his ballpark, obviously, only been here for a couple days, but does a nice job of feeling the warning track with his feet, reading where the wall is, goes up and makes the play just before he bounces off that right field fence. Good play by Glenn Murray.
Very good play. Base is empty, 2 out. Here's Barry Bonds on base twice tonight on a single and a walk. Curveball, it's a called strike on Barry. Jim Leland, his old skipper, who saw him this weekend, of course, with the Giants playing out there. Even he came away impressed with the way that Bonds is in a great streak right now.
They saw way too much of Bonds.
And kind of wish he was back in Pittsburgh right now, huh? He's on base for the 3rd time. Hit number 6 for the Giants today. Barry Bonds and Reggie Jackson comparing their stats at age 31, so they are at similar points in their career, and those stats are pretty close.
And you think of Reggie Jackson as one of those guys that was clutch at all times.
The stats compiled by Elias. Matt Williams takes ball 1. Matt has popped up and struck out tonight, and it's a good thing he did, because as we mentioned, Barry Bonds has been on base every time he's been up there. The Phillies were playing the Giants last year when he fouled that ball off his foot. Cost him a big hunk of the season, and cost the Giants probably more than that, because he was leading at about everything at the time that happened. The Giants were in first place, and they had a losing record while he was out, and never really got back in the race after that. With 2 outs and runners on base, he's hitting .154 with 5 runs batted in and 1 round tripper.
And Williams' value to the Giants is not only measured in what he does himself at home plate, but also the fact that he's hitting behind Barry Bonds, so that if you do indeed decide to pitch around Bonds, you have to pay the price by pitching to Matt Williams. He makes Bonds a much better hitter because of the fact that you have a tendency to pitch to Bonds a little more often than you would if you didn't have a Matt Williams behind him.
Curveball, base hit. Bonds is going to get to third base. Sid's been hurt by that curveball tonight. Quite a few of the Giants' hits are off the curveball. And that's hit number 7 for San Francisco.
Well, we'll see the Fernandez curveball right here, and as has been the case most of the time, the hitters are double clutching and not hitting it all that sharply, but because it's up in the strike zone, they're able to get it out over the infield and drop it in front of the outfielders.
So now Sid has to knuckle down here and try to get Mark Carrion. The Giants tonight have left 6 men on base already, and they've got 2 more out there right now. 2 outs in the inning as Carrion comes up. He's grounded out twice. Having a pretty good year, though. It's outside, ball 1. With runners in scoring position, he is the Giants' top guy, .433. Hard to believe that before last year, Mark Carrion had only played 3 games in his life at first base. He's taken to it pretty well. And of course, it's because of that that the Giants traded J.R. Phillips to the Phillies. Ball 2, 2-0. J.R. holding at first base with Matt Williams.
Just in case you're thinking about Matt Williams over at first base running, don't. He has not attempted a stolen base so far this year, and I guess with 2 outs, he's not going to be taking a chance to take the bat out of Carrion's hands.
Carrion with a right field swing there. There are 2 outs, so he's trying to put the ball in play here with a 2-1 count.
If Matt Williams takes off right now, the red light should go on. It's the same play the Phillies used yesterday, the double steal. They'll be trying to steal a run, but As I said, I don't think that's going to happen with Carry on, the big power hitter at the plate.
Sid missing. It's 3 balls and 1 strike. And it doesn't get a lot easier because Glenn Allen Hill is on deck. These are the 2 guys in the lineup that Sid has handled most consistently tonight. Carry on and Hill. Strike. Came after him with a fastball and gets it over. Full count. Well, now Williams will be running with this pitch.
Knowing that, J.R. Phillips goes and moves behind him at first base. Try to cut down a little bit of the hole on the right side of the infield. Just in case Carry on would slice one that way.
Going to get a fastball, are we? Got in with a fastball. Carry on strikes out. Number 6 for Sid, and out of trouble once again. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. We remain 0-0. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Philadelphia Phillies. Any rebroadcast or retransmission of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Phillies is strictly prohibited. Well, somebody's going to get a run sometime. Phillies have the next opportunity here as we go to the 5th. Murray was called out on strikes on a curveball from Gardner, his first time up. Murray starting to settle into the picture. We just saw him make a nice catch in the outfield. There's that curveball, but he missed. I'd say that was Murray's best defensive play since he's been here. Tiki, you've seen all the games. What do you think?
I believe so.
Ball 3.
Really, in his first couple games, he really wasn't tested that much defensively. That was the first time that he had a tough play where he had to go out toward the wall and made a real nice play on it.
Murray's aboard. Mark Gardner has walked his first batter, and he walks a leadoff batter at that. Well, we've got photo night coming up Saturday, June 1st, 7:05 against the San Diego Padres. Your up close and personal chance to take photos on the field. Bring your camera and lots of film for this once-in-a-year chance. Gates open early, 5:05. Get your tickets well in advance for this one. 463-1000. Always a big crowd. Here's JR. Phillips struck out first time around. Giants looking for the double play. We were talking about how good they are at the double play. He's got a shot for one right here with Dunston and Thompson, the middle infielders. Phillips wanting to show off for his old team. Murray has not attempted a steal since he's been here. Thompson can't get it. Base hit. Boy, I tell you, that was either going to be a base hit or a double play. And it's a hit for Phillips.
JR just drives this ball right back up the middle, a couple feet away from being a routine double play ball. Robbie Thompson just not able to get it. That's the kind of second baseman likes to have, where it's moving him over toward the bag. If he can get there, it makes it an easy feed, but that ball just bounces by him into center field. So instead of being 2 outs and nobody on, the Phillies now have runners at first and second and nobody out.
Obviously the first time they have had multiple runners in the game tonight. Here's Stocker. Kevin 0 for 1. It was a ground ball to second. Giants figure they can still see their way out of this, though, with the bottom of the order coming up here. Phillies need something out of Stocker. The best scenario would be for Stocker to keep it going and Sid to come up and bunt. Scoreless here in the bottom of the 5th. Phillies lead the league in receiving walks. Murray getting the first one tonight. There were precious few in that Atlanta series. The Braves pitchers walked just 4 Phillies in 3 games. The Phillies received a ton of walks on that last road trip. Curveball for a strike, and it's 1-2 on Stocker. Mentioned the Phillies have the league lead in walks, and the Giants are not that far behind. Stocker strikes out. Strikeout number 7 for Gardner.
Well, when Gardner gets in trouble, he goes to the curveball. See the big late break on that curveball down in the strike zone. Stocker swings over the top of it. So now the Phillies with 1 out, Sid Fernandez at the plate. I would imagine he's going to be up there to bunt runners over, try to get 2 guys in scoring position for Lenny Dykstra.
And the Giants have just had a little conference about it as Williams and Dunston and Gardner got their signs straight. Sid was called out on strikes as a batter first time up. He has sacrificed once this year. He bunts foul, strike 1. Well, we got to look at the Giants defense there.
Larry Bowe going through the signs. And the first time around, Matt Williams was staying at home at third base.
Right, and Dunston went to second.
Dunston went over and covered the bag, so they have the normal bunt coverage on, which means that Mark Gardner is responsible for fielding the third base side. Williams came in and flashed signs. We'll see if they stay with that same defense.
Another foul bunt, and they did. The defense identical, and it's no balls and 2 strikes on Sid. Is this any kind of a night for a Hawaiian?
Still a good time for one Hawaiian to lay down a sacrifice bunt if he can get it down in fair territory.
He's out. Sits out on strikes. Strikeout number 8 for Gardner.
Sid gets 3 pitches to bunt. He gets 3 pretty decent pitches to bunt. Balls in the strike zone that he could handle, but not able to get it in fair territory. Fouls all 3 of them off at the plate, so he takes a seat in the dugout, not able to get the job done.
Phillies had 2 on, nobody out, and they haven't moved, so it's up to Lenny. He has been called out on strikes tonight and lined out to left field. That liner to left was fairly deep. Bonds was right at the edge of the warning track when he caught it. Here's a bouncer to second base. Thompson with the high hop plays to first, and the ball is dropped. Coming to the plate is Murray. He scores. Phillies lead 1-0. They're going to give an assist to Thompson. They're going to charge Carrion with the error.
And sometimes routine plays do not turn out to be routine. The easiest of throws for Carrion, he just flat out misses this ball at first base, allows Murray to come all the way around and score from second. Thompson in great position, makes a good throw. Carrion just does not catch the ball. Carrion, originally an outfielder, has been converted over to playing first base, and a big mistake by the San Francisco Giants right there with 2 outs. J.R. Phillips, who was on first, moves all the way around to third base, and the Phillies on the board. So Lenny Dykstra, the benefactor of the error by Mark Carrion.
Unearned run to give the Phillies the lead. Here is Morandini, who has twice been called out on strikes. You know, Teak, you go back to yesterday's ball game. The Phillies took advantage of what the Braves gave them. There were a couple of plays in that game where the Braves didn't execute properly, and the Phillies took advantage every time, and they do so again tonight. Errors are one thing, it's something else to be sure you take advantage. Of course, in that case, with 2 outs, you're going to get a run, but see if the Phillies can get something more on the board with the floodgates opened here.
The Phillies in the bonus round right now. Anything that they come up with will be compliments of Mark Carrion.
Mickey sending a lazy fly ball out toward Bonds. He flaps the glove. That means he's going to snatch it out of the air. Well, the Phillies get an unearned run. They do so with 1 hit, 1 error, and 2 men left on base. It is 1-0 Phillies after 5.
Baseball's All-Star Game is coming to Philadelphia this summer. Join in the celebration with your very own limited edition All-Star cap, t-shirt, sweatshirt, sweater, or jacket. Good stuff, good deal, good prices starting at just $5 for a piece of All-Star history. Place your order or get your free colorful catalog featuring All-Star items. They won't be here for long, so call 463-1000 now. 463-1000, your All-Star number for All-Star merchandise.
True or false? Fatigue is one of the most common symptoms noticed in retrospect by people who have had heart attacks. True. If your fatigue is associated with chest heaviness or chest pain, you should have a cardiovascular evaluation.
2 more games left in the homestand tomorrow night. Kurt Schilling against Osvaldo Fernandez, and Wednesday at 1:05, Terry Mulholland against Mark Leiter. Order your tickets by phone. Call 463-1000. Also the number to order fantastic All-Star merchandise. So the Phillies have the night's first run. Even though they have been out-hit by the Giants 7-3, they're on the board. Go to the 6th inning, and Glenn Allen Hill leads it off for San Francisco. He's popped up and struck out. Hill is 0 for 2. Hill, Dunston, and Decker here in the 6th inning. Sid has not put them down in order yet. The Giants have hits in every inning. Take a look at the starters tonight. Only a couple of walks in the ball game. 14 total strikeouts. Mark Gardner, of course, has walked only 1 batter, and that's the guy who scored the run. He walked Murray to lead off the inning. Now, he'd have still been out of it had the defense done the job, but nevertheless, it was Murray who scored. One-two pitch. Foul out of play. Now that Phillips goes after everything, doesn't he? He takes off hard down there.
If the ball stays anywhere inside Veterans Stadium, J.R. Phillips going to make a run at it. Of course, he's probably just a little extra pumped up this evening, playing against his former teammates for the first time.
Curveball, ooh, close. He tried to backdoor Glenn Allen Hill, and the door was locked.
So try to get Hill the same way you got him the last time after a couple of curveballs, throwing that high fastball out of the strike zone. This time Hill was able to just get a piece of it. Take a look and see what Benito Santiago has in mind.
Fastball?
Away.
Away, yeah. Sid having given up 7 hits tonight. The most he has given up in a game this year was 6 against the Cardinals at St. Louis on the 14th of April in his 3rd start of the year. He lost that ball game 6-5 that night, losing to Matthews. But here in this one, he's given up 7 hits, but not a run. Punch shot. If it's fair, it's trouble. It is. Ball was touched. It's an interference double. Hill to second on the interference. And that's hit number 8 for San Francisco.
Hill just trying to fight the pitches off with 2 strikes. Gets the fastball probably a little bit out of the strike zone. Not a bad pitch by Fernandez, but just able to dump it down inside that right field line. And then as soon as it touched that fan's hands, determined to be a ground rule double. So Glenn Allen Hill, leadoff base runner for the Giants, as they try to answer the Phillies run in the bottom of the 5th with a leadoff double here in the top of the 6th.
Now Dunston will want to try to hit the ball to the right side. Sean tonight is 2 for 2, a single to right and a single to center. He hits the ball to the right side, but not especially deep. Murray makes the play. And Hill was off the base, so he couldn't tag up anyway, but I don't think it was deep enough for him to go. But it was probably a lot better that Murray caught it than Morandini retreating.
Yeah, good communication with the Phillies right there. Murray is coming into the play. We'll take a look as Dunston just pops his ball into short right field. Morandini is on his way out. Murray is on his way in. If Mickey catches the ball going away, a much more difficult throw to third base for him. So Murray determines, I can get there. He calls Morandini off, and Mickey just peels out of the way at the last second. Glenn Allen Hill at second base decides, nope, I'm not running on Murray. He's coming in with the ball.
Stepping in for the Giants, their catcher Steve Decker, 0 for 1 in the ball game, plus an intentional walk. Decker fouled out to Phillips in his only official at bat. And the Giants have had at least 1 hit in all 6 innings so far. They had 2 hits in the 1st and 2 in the 5th. A total of 8, the most Sid has given up in a ball game this year. High ball 1 to Decker. It's Decker's second tour of duty with San Francisco. He was their starting catcher back in the '91 season, and he hit his way right back to the minor leagues. Then he was let go by the organization. He wound up catching with the Florida Marlins for a time. Called strike. We mentioned earlier Kurt Manwaring is going to be back probably within 10 days, he hopes, certainly sometime this month. He wound up catching the last part of last year with a couple of broken ribs. I asked him tonight how they were doing. He says they're fine. But he was hit on the left hand by a pitch, suffered a broken bone. And that's why he's on the shelf right now. Morandini out of position. Sid steps off. You got Hill at second with 1 out. And Sid has pitched more out of the stretch tonight than he has the rest of the year combined, I think.
Morandini at second base trying to keep Hill close. The Giants have already shown that they will try to steal third base if you don't pay attention to them. Mickey just right off of the dirt area at second base. He'll start there and either then move closer to the bag or try to scamper back to his position as Fernandez throws the ball to the plate. A little cat and mouse game that goes on in the middle of the infield all the time with a runner on second.
Curveball, it misses. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Phillies lead at 1-0 on an unearned run. We're in the 6th inning. And it's been work for Sid tonight. He hasn't been quite as efficient as he normally is, but we're not complaining. He hasn't given up a run. Good lead at second. But Sid's going to make the pitch, and the ball is hit to center field. Coming around third base is Hill. And we have a tie ball game. It's a 1-1 game as Decker singles in Hill. Hit number 9 from San Francisco produces their first run.
Decker takes a close pitch to get to this point and then hits a ball out of the strike zone. A good pitch again by Fernandez. Giants have done a lot of that this evening, hitting balls that are out of the strike zone. Not particularly strikes by design, but when you get the bat on it, you can get it in play. Sometimes good things happen. Decker really swinging at a bad pitch right there, but gets the base hit and ties the ball game.
His 7th run batted in. Now the pitcher will be up to bunt. Gardner has struck out twice. He has 1 sacrifice this year. One out on the inning, and he'll be up to bunt. Foul ball, strike 1. Sid Fernandez tried to bunt in his last attempt and wound up striking out. Wendell Kim, the third base coach for San Francisco. They've got our old friend Jimmy Davenport down at first now. Bobby Bonds had been the first base coach. He was not going to hold that position this year. Bob Brenly was. And then Brenly got yanked right out of his uniform by the Fox TV then. In the air, Phillips, nice play. In foul ground, Gardner bunts into an out.
J.R. Phillips getting a good jump, charging down in fair territory, and has to adjust his route to a little bit of a down and out. Catches that ball in foul territory. We've talked so much about J.R. Phillips and what a fine job he does defensively at first base. Usually you're talking about digging balls out of the dirt, but he makes a nice play right there, adjusting to that foul bunt off the bat of Mark Gardner.
Javier, 2 out of 3 tonight, single and double. Last time up, he grounded to third. Here we are in the 6th inning, and Sid's pitch count has exceeded 100 at this point.
Not really an abnormal number for Sid. He usually does throw a lot of pitches. That's why he doesn't throw very many complete games at all. Has not thrown one yet this year.
That's a foul ball down the right side. That'll go out of play. Well, the Phillies have 2 complete games this year, one of which, of course, came yesterday, Mike Grace's game. The other was thrown by Terry Mulholland. And nice job by Gracie yesterday.
Oh, outstanding, especially. I mean, you had to be just a little bit nervous going out there after the Braves had scored 11 runs 2 games in a row. But Mike just kind of put that out of his mind and went out about his business. Did an outstanding job.
Giants staff has produced 2 complete games this year. And interestingly enough, one of them was yesterday. That was Alan Watson. The other was pitched by Mark Gardner, and that was a shutout of the Atlanta Braves. So both these teams have shut out the Braves this year. Here's a sock to left field. Eisenreich realizes he can't get it. It's a 2-base hit. Decker to third on a double by Javier, his second 2-base hit.
Javier hits the ball hard again. Fastball up in the zone. Jim Eisenreich does a real nice job on this ball. At first he thinks he may have a play, and then he pulls up at just the last second so that he can field the carom off the wall and get the ball back into Kevin Stocker. If he does not field that ball cleanly, Decker's going to come all the way around from first base and score. But because of the good relay from Eisenreich to Stocker, Decker has to stop at third, and at least for the moment now, the Giants are still held off the board with their second running inning. They have one already, but that would have been number 2 and not Eisenreich fielding that ball perfectly off the wall.
Here's Robbie Thompson. I'll tell you what, Teak, a lot of guys would have scored on that ball anyway. Decker, a catcher, of course, because there were 2 outs. Springer getting up now for the Phillies. Robbie Thompson has been held down tonight. He's grounded into a double play, struck out, and fly to the wall and right, caught by Murray. Curveball for a strike. This is the guy you really need here. We've got a 1-1 ball game, but Thompson, with 2 guys in scoring position, can do major damage in this game right here. So a big batter on deck, Bonds. So Sid Fernandez really has to bear down here.
And Bonds on deck makes this even bigger batter.
Another curveball, but this one's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. So our ball game here has reached crisis time. Oh, good pitch. 1-2 on Thompson.
Mentioned Thompson, a big hitter in this ball game. They don't always come at the end of the ball game. Sometimes there are very crucial points in the middle of the ball game. This one, a very crucial point for Sid Fernandez and the Phillies in this ball game tonight.
Not quite. It's 2-2.
Take a look at it. Probably up and away just a little bit.
That catches the corner. Thompson called out on strikes with 2 men in scoring position. Giants tie the ball game. 1 run, 3 hits, 2 men left on base. Let's take a look at that pitch one more time, T.
Crucial point in the game. Big pitch by Sid Fernandez down and on the inside part of the plate.
Todd Kalas has scores and highlights of other games around the majors. Let's go to Todd right now. Todd?
Thank you very much, Andy. We'll start you out with the Cardinals taking on the Florida Marlins. That game down at Joe Robbie Stadium. Gary Sheffield at the plate early on in the game. He wears that protection on the left elbow, and that is where he gets drilled by former teammate Andy Bennis. Sheffield down at the plate. When he gets up, he wants a piece of his former teammate. Tom Pagnozzi has to restrain him. Sheffield wants to go after Bennis. The bench is clear. And he was restrained eventually by, among others, Terry Pendleton, manager Renee Latchman. Bennis would get tossed from this game. 4-2 Marlins. Terry Pendleton with a grand slam home run to give the Fish the lead. Florida is trying to win for the 8th straight time. Elsewhere, Chicago shutting out Houston 2-0 early on. Pittsburgh and Atlanta. We'll take you to highlights of this one down at Fulton County Stadium. Beautiful night in the city hosting the Olympics this year. Chipper Jones. He'll hit one to right center field. It'll find a gap and go all the way to the wall. Coming in to score, Marquise Grissom. Mark Lemke right behind him. 2-0 Braves early on. Dave Justice would follow in that inning with a double of his own. This a seed over the shortstop. It would find the gap in left center. Chipper Jones trots home. 3-0 Braves at that point. Justice would add a 3-run home run. It's now 8-0 Atlanta behind Tom Glavine that game in the 5th inning. Montreal with the best record in baseball taking on Los Angeles tonight. New York, San Diego later on. Limited schedule on the American League board. Kansas City and Texas just underway. Chicago trailing Milwaukee early 4-0 in the 4th. Dave Nielsen with a 2-run home run in that one. And later on tonight, Baltimore takes on Oakland. Let's send it back to Andy Musser and Ken Tekulve.
Thank you, Todd. It's a 1-1 ball game here. And Jim Eisenreich, who has one of the Phillies' 3 hits tonight, is set to lead off the bottom half of the 6th inning. Eisy is 1 for 2, a single to short and a ground ball to short. Middle of the order here, 3, 4, and 5 hitters against Mark Gardner, who's now back in the ball game after giving up that unearned run. And I'm sure that a guy like Mark Carrion's feeling a lot better now, knowing that that error is not going to cost him the ball game. Strike, 1-1. Little high, 2 balls and 1 strike on Eisy. Eisenreich has gone 199 games without an error. Punch shot, base hit off the glove of Dunston. Gonna try to make it 2. Here's Bond's throw. It's offline. It's a double for Eisenreich.
San Francisco Giants get a leadoff double from Glenn Allen Hill to score their run in the top of the inning. Eisenreich slashes one to left field just off of Dunston's glove because of the deflection and the ball not getting to Barry Bonds. Eisenreich able to hustle all the way into second base for a leadoff double for the Phillies here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, that's one of those plays where if Dunston hadn't gotten leather on it, that would probably have been a single. Todd Zeile up now. Todd 1 for 2. He has grounded to third and singled to center. Izzy checking out who's where. Bottom half of the sixth, Phillies trying to untie a 1-1 ball game. Giants bullpen is not active. Mentioned that their bullpen had a day off yesterday. Watson going the distance.
Todd Zeile at the plate with Jim Eisenreich at second. Would like to hit something to the right side of the field. Ideally a ground ball through that right side. Instead of just getting Eisenreich to third, try to score him.
Called strike. It's 1-1 on Todd. The Giants are tough again in close ball games. Rod Beck is back in shape. He's 8 for 8 in save opportunities this year. He finished strong last year, closing out his last 11 games last year after slumping earlier. Talked to him about it before the ball game. He said, you know, the difference was I wasn't used to coming into games before the ninth inning, and he said it took a little adjustment to get used to that. But this year he's done it without a problem.
Well, he's done it well, and he's really been the only one in that Giants bullpen that has pitched well consistently. They've had a lot of problems out there, and what most clubs have done to the Giants and why they're only a couple games over 500 with the great offense that they've had is they've been able to get into that bullpen and do a lot of damage in the 5th through 8th innings. There you see Rod Beck.
That's probably a good reason why Dusty Baker doesn't have anybody up right here. It's Gardner's ball game, and he's done a fine job. 3-1 pitch. Down the right field line, fair or foul? Foul ball. Full count now on Zeile.
And even though that was a foul ball, it's good hitting by Todd Zeile. 3 balls and 1 strikes. Most of the time you're looking for a pitch to yank. But in this situation with a runner on second and nobody out, Zeile still trying to go to right field on that 3-1 count. Just not able to keep it quite inside the line on right field.
Jam job and a foul back. You saw his numbers with runners in scoring position, and especially productive since the early part of the year. Izzy at second, nobody out. Ball 4. First 2 Phillies have reached. Only the second walk for Gardner.
Gardner trying to come with the fastball in the inside part of the plate. Zeile jumps back. Decker thought it was a strike. Fortunately for the Phillies, that was not the opinion of Brian Gorman.
Dusty looking at that lineup card. Santiago's coming up. Bullpen still quiet for the Giants. Benito tonight has grounded to third and popped up. Talked earlier about the fact that he came out here for extra BP today. 1 for his last 22 is Benito. Look out. Head high. Ball 1. Chance to do some damage here against Mark Gardner, who has struck out 8 in this ball game, given up 4 hits and 2 walks. High fly ball. Bonds will play it. And the runners cannot move on that. 1 out. Now, with runners at first and second and 1 out, it's Glenn Murray time. Murray tonight has scored the only Phillies run. That happened in the 5th inning after he was walked as a leadoff batter. First time up, he struck out.
Not only was the walk last time to Murray a good sign for the Phillies, a leadoff walk that turned into a run, but a good sign for Murray. He's been swinging some balls out of the strike zone. Was unhappy with himself about doing that, showing a little more discipline.
Jam job foul here.
He's probably getting a little bit more relaxed at the plate. He was upset with himself. I remember the first game that he played in particular against John Smoltz about some pitches out of the strike zone that he had swung at. So I don't usually swing at those pitches. I was just getting a little anxious. So maybe Mr. Murray, after having played a few days now, is kind of settling back in, getting comfortable at the plate.
Well, it is an adjustment. There's no doubt about that. The whole surroundings and the circumstances are different. Everything's bigger playing in the majors than in the minors. Curveball, it missed. 2-1. Eisenreich led off the inning with a double, and he's at second base. And then Zeal walked. He's at first. There's one out now. And a 2-1 count on Murray. Curveball, that missed. 3-1.
Again, that pitch right there, a pitch that Murray had been swinging at the first couple of games, so he's able to lay off of it and get himself in a situation where he's got a 3-1 count, and he can look for a pitch to drive in this situation.
Out of play. It's full count. What's the call on the runners here, Teak?
I'd say with as many people as Gardner has been striking out, I think Jim Fregosi would be a little hesitant to start the runners in this situation.
They stay, and he does strike out. So that's strikeout number 9 for Gardner, and the second out of the inning.
And Murray was able to lay off the pitches until he got to 3-2. The breaking ball down out of the strike zone by Gardner, not able to lay off of it. So the old bugaboo came back and got him after he was able to do a nice job of staying off of him for a while.
100 pitches for Gardner, and that 100th was a good one, a dandy. Well, now the ex-Giant to try to do some damage against his mates in this 1-1 ball game. It's J.R. Phillips, who got a hit his last time up, his first single for the Phillies. J.R. a strikeout victim first time up. Curveball misses. Two on and 2 out on the Phillies' 6th. 2-0 on J.R.
Gardner in this early part of the ball game, or in the early part of the ball game when he was in complete control of this thing, was throwing strike 1, strike 2, and staying ahead of the Phillies hitters. All of a sudden now he's starting to fall behind more often.
That's out of play. 2-1. You're right. That first inning, and every pitch he threw was a strike.
Especially the curveballs.
Yeah,
seemed like almost every curveball he threw was a strike, and now fewer and fewer of those curveballs are going in the strike zone. Yes. Even the 3-2 curveball that he threw to Murray was out of the strike zone, even though he did get the strikeout.
Obviously, Dusty Baker still has faith. He's got nobody up in the bullpen. Two balls and 2 strikes. We have 2 on with 2 outs. Izzy's at second and Zeal's at first. Ooh. A little close, but a full count, and now the runners will go. 3-2 on Phillips. Working with Dennis Menke on changing his batting technique a little since joining the Phillies. Hit a center field home run yesterday. Here's a pop-up. Looks like it might be playable. Williams is over. He puts it away. So the inning comes to a close. Phil's in the 6th. No runs. 1 hit. 2 men left on base. Chris Wheeler back in the 7th inning. It's a 1-1 game.
We're back at Veterans Stadium, and you have a chance to be a part of our PRISM broadcast tonight by helping us select the player of the game. Just jump on the internet, get a hold of us at prismlink@aol.com. Let us know who you think tonight's player of the game should be. And this one's still up in the air. The Phillies and the Giants tied at 1 as we head to the top of the 7th inning. Big man stepping into the box is Barry Bonds to lead it off for the Giants, and the Big man sitting down next to me to bring you the play-by-play the next 3 innings, Chris Wheeler.
The hottest player in the league and maybe in the universe right here in a 1-1 ball game. 2 for 2 tonight with a walk.
And I'm sitting next to the hottest broadcaster in the universe.
Well, it's a good ball game, and he gets a rip at this one. Back goes Murray, and he's going to make the play at the back of the warning track. Bonds was going first ball, fastball, and he looked like he might have just got that one out on the end of the bat a little bit.
Yeah, Bonds was looking for the fastball. He just got out in front of it a little bit. Fernandez able to get it on the outside part of the plate. Bonds, even when he hits the ball on the end of the bat, hits it to the middle of the warning track. Murray with just enough room to make the play.
You know, you almost had to think he was going to come out, look first ball, fastball, and try and hit out of the ballpark, because Bonds is such a good situation player, too, and he knows a home run gives him the lead there. And he did, and just came up a little short. Now Matt Williams, the batter, 1 for 3. Fastball outside. Matt has popped up to Santiago in fair territory, struck out, and singled to center.
Giants finally with some action in their bullpen. Rich DeLucia, the right-hander, throwing.
Rich DeLucia out of the Reading area from Shillington, Pennsylvania. Was with the St. Louis Cardinals last year, on the disabled list this year, and back recently for San Francisco. Williams, a long drive. That's a long drive, and it's going to go way out to left field. Matt Williams got a high fastball and hit it out of the ballpark. That's his 9th of the year, and it's 2-1 now in favor of the Giants, and Williams kills the Phillies in this ballpark. Only the 2nd home run given up by Fernandez this year, the other one on opening night to Larry Walker.
Well, until tonight, Sid Fernandez has had good luck with Matt Williams, but he gets a fastball up out over the plate. And Jim Eisenreich gives us a little bit of a decoy because he went back for a second like he thought he had a chance. This one well up into the blue seats in left field.
Yeah, I had to double pump a little bit on it because I thought it was out when he hit it, and then when Izzy stood there like that, no way that ball can be
that guy knew it was out when he hit it. He's hit enough of them to know.
And look how many he's hit here. 15 of them in this ballpark. So Matt Williams hits his first career home run off Sid Fernandez and gives the Giants a 2-1 lead. Sid has given up 11 hits tonight, which is almost twice the total he'll normally give up in a bullpen in a ball game. Curveball. Carry-on hits at the stocker. Good play. Throws him out, and that's the 2nd out of the inning. The Phillies will get the bullpen up again. Ken Ryan, the right-hander, starts to throw. Sid Fernandez due to bat 2nd in the 7th inning, so this will be his last inning of work. Fernandez, who just does not throw many home run balls. As we mentioned, that's only the 2nd of the year. Larry Walker, in the 1st inning of the 1st game, hit a 2-run homer off him.
4th batter that Fernandez had seen this season. Went all the way from that Larry Walker home run to the one we just saw off the bat of Matt Williams.
Glenn Allen Hill, the batter. He is 1 for 3 tonight. Hill doubled down the right field line in the 6th inning and scored on an RBI single to center by Decker. That tied the game, and now Matt Williams has untied it. So Fernandez in one of those situations, he knows he's gone after this half inning, and he has to get through it, and he's going to leave the game behind. High and outside, 3-0. 2 outs in the inning, and Williams' home run has made it 2-1. The Giants now with 57 home runs this year, as they are just pounding the long ball. Ball 4, he walked it.
Here's Sid Fernandez right now. What you have to be trying to do, you know you're going to be out of the ball game at the end of this inning, but you want to leave it as a 2-1 game. You mentioned Fernandez, the 2nd hitter, so any runs that the Phillies could score in the next inning would be credited to Fernandez. So he still has a chance to get off the hook in this ball game, or possibly even still win it if the Phillies can score a couple runs.
Right.
But the more runs you allow the Giants to get, the more difficult you make it on your offense to score the runs to get you off the hook. And of course, the Phillies have been struggling scoring runs.
Jim Fergosi's going to come out and make a double switch.
Well, forget that whole scenario because that's not going to happen.
Right, but the point was that if he was going to stay in and finish this inning, that's what had to happen. But Fergosi, knowing, of course, he's going to bat second, decides to make a double switch. J.R. Phillips looks like he's going to leave. Kevin Jordan will come out and play first base, and Ken Ryan will come in to pitch for the Phillies. So a double change and a pitching change here in the 7th inning, as on comes the right-hander Ken Ryan. 2-1 San Francisco. Back with more right after this. Sid Fernandez next to pitching coach Jim Wright. Sid had one of those hang-in-there nights. The San Francisco Giants, a very hot-hitting team right now, had 11 hits on him. And Fernandez coming into the game with the lowest batting average against the league. The league hitting just 171 against him coming into this game. And there is his line right now. He is responsible for Glenn Allen Hill, the runner on at first base.
All those numbers very normal for Sid, except for that number of hits given up, 11, very unusual.
And Ken Ryan will be the new pitcher. There you see Ryan coming into game number 12. Got off to a great start for the Phillies. Has been hit around a little bit in his last few times out. Had a 15 2/3 inning scoreless streaks halted at Florida on the 1st of this month. But overall, opponents are just hitting 161 against him. And right-handed hitters, 098, just 4 for 41. That's another reason why he's coming in to face Sean Dunston.
Kevin Jordan also comes into the game, as you mentioned, as part of that double switch. Jordan will bat in the number 9 hole. That puts Ryan in Phillips' number 7 hole, so Kevin Jordan will be the second hitter next inning for the Phillies.
Sean Dunston back off the disabled list just today. 2 hits in the ballgame and a stolen base. So Glenn Allen Hill with good speed on at first. 2 outs, a run in, 2-1 Giants here in the 7th. Hill starts to go, then stops, and the pitch from Ryan is outside, ball 1. Glenn Allen Hill was leaning a little bit that time. Looked like he was in the starter's blocks. Hill, for a big man, can move. There he goes. Swinging a foul tip. Santiago's throw is late. So Glenn Allen Hill, you could see the first pitch. He was flinching, thinking about running. He decides to go and makes it. Stolen base number 4 for Hill.
Santiago again throws from the knees as Dunston swings and misses. Throw just a little bit up the first base side. By the time Morandini gets the tag down on the face of Hill, he's got the feet in at the bag. Puts the glove right in his face. But the feet already on the bag, as you can see right here very clearly.
That throw was sailing a little bit. It made Morandini take the throw in front of the bag, so Hill had a lot to slide at. Count 1-1 now on Sean Dunston. Ryan with a good fastball. Called a strike, 1-2. Dunston didn't like it. Sean Dunston with a great career with the Cubs and coming over here in the offseason and doing a good job for San Francisco. And when this guy is healthy, he can play. Through that fastball. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ken Ryan coming over from the Boston Red Sox in the Heathcliff Slocum deal, along with Lee Tinsley and Glenn Murray. All 3 players in that deal have been here at one time or another this year. Tinsley now on the disabled list. Fastball popped up, playable. Zeal, the third baseman, puts it away. Ryan gets Dunston in the inning. A run on the home run by Matt Williams. No errors. And left. 2-0.
Shirts, socks, bats, balls, blouses, pants, gerbils. Those are some of the things fans 14 and under can put in a big equipment bag. They'll get compliments at CarQuest Auto Parts when the Phils play the Rockies Sunday, June 23rd, 1:35. Call 463-1000.
Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, there's a murder at Alcatraz, but who's to blame, the suspect or the system? Christian Slater, Kevin Bacon star in the chilling thriller Murder in the First, Wednesday night at 9 o'clock, exclusively right here on PRISM. Don't miss that one. That is a terrific movie. Here's Kevin Stocker, and a curveball by Gardner comes in low for ball one. Stocker has grounded to second and struck out as Mark Gardner pitches into the 7th inning. He went 5 2/3 in his last start. And he's mixed up the curveball and fastball real well tonight and leads it 2-1. And the only run off him is an unearned run. Stocker takes the breaking ball low, 2-1. Kevin Jordan on deck. He is in the 9 hole. And then Lenny Dykstra. There's Mark Gardner at 109 pitches to this point. Low ball 3. Giants have had trouble out of their bullpen this year. That's been a real tough spot for them, except for Rod Beck. And when they get to Beck, Beck has been perfect so far in 8 save opportunities. So they would love to have that opportunity again tonight. Stocker takes it over, and it's a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes as they get the pen up again. DeLucia was up early.
It's DeLucia again.
Rich DeLucia, right-hander throwing. Stocker, a foul ball out of play, right side, hit it pretty well, but way foul.
You would think in a 2-1 ball game that you would see similar numbers on the board, but the Giants really generating all the offense this evening. 2 runs on 11 hits, and that one costly error by Carrion at first base that allowed the Phillies to score their 1 run.
Giants have left 11 on too, Teak, so that's been a big point in the ball game for them, only having the 2 runs. There are the totals.
Only 4 hits in this ball game.
Make that 5 is a base hit into center field. Javier on a couple of hops, and Kevin Stocker on at first base with a leadoff single here in the 7th inning. Only the 5th hit of the game for the Phillies, and that will bring up Kevin Jordan with his first at bat of the game.
Stocker with that short stroke again up on the bat, just like Bonds. Not quite the power of Barry Bonds, not quite the average, not quite the numbers, but right there he gets the base hit to get the Phillies started here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The Phillies are going to get consistent and start winning consistently. They're going to have to start generating more offense. They just have not been hitting the ball well at all.
Jordan bunts, and it's a beauty. Gardner says he has it, then Carrion waves him off, flips it to Robbie Thompson. Sack 3-4 on the play. Good job by Kevin Jordan to get the runner to second base, and there is Stocker in scoring position.
Well, Kevin Jordan's in the number 9 spot in the lineup, part of that double switch, so with the leadoff single, using just like you would the pitcher. Bunt the man over and get him in scoring position for the top of the order, and Lenny Dykstra.
Dykstra has struck out line to Bonds and lived on the error by Carrion when Carrion dropped a perfect throw from Robbie Thompson. Allowed the Phillies 1 run to score. Bonds continues to play him real deep in left tonight. Deeper than we normally see Bonds play. Dykstra takes a fastball outside for ball 1. See how deep Barry Bonds is. Bonds usually cheats in a little more.
Usually about 10-15 feet in shorter than that.
He's such an outstanding outfielder with a great arm and very accurate. He was a center fielder when he first came up with the Pirates. That ball gets away from the catcher Decker. It'll be a pass ball, and over to third goes Stocker. And he may have been crossed up because he calls time right away. It looked like he was going to run out to Gardner, but maybe not. Maybe just missed it.
I see right here the way Decker goes after this ball. It appears as if he was waiting for a breaking ball and got a tailing fastball off the end of the glove. You're right. He called time and started out like he was going to talk to Gardner. Again, the ball not even on the inside part of the glove. It's on the end. And I think Gardner probably just signaling, yeah, I know, I just crossed you up.
Right.
Because there's no doubt that Decker was not looking for that fastball.
Infield in now. And Stocker, the base runner at third. Phillies might go on contact here. Dykstra, the batter, and the pitch to him is a good fastball over for a strike, although he didn't like it. 2-1. Lenny has not seen eye to eye tonight with Brian Gorman. There's the drawn-in infield by San Francisco. Yeah, it appeared the way he reached for that ball that he was crossed up.
Yeah, because he started moving his glove in the direction that you would move it on a curveball, and then just had a jab back at it at the very last minute.
Way outside with a breaking ball. 3-1. On deck is Mickey Morandini. We'll see if Gardner throws him a fastball here. He's thrown breaking balls in key situations tonight, breaking balls behind in the count. Real confident with it.
And Lenny's usually pretty disciplined in situations like this.
Fastball, looked like he pitched around it. They'll put the infield back at double play depth now. He pitched around Dykstra in that spot, and they'll take their chances now with Morandini 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a fly ball to Bonds in left. Stocker the runner at third. Here comes Dusty Baker. He does not have a left-hander up in the bullpen. They have one left-hander, and that's Doug Creek. DeLucia, the right-hander, continues to throw. Johnny Baker. Great career he had with the Dodgers, especially in this league. Also played for Oakland, San Francisco, but you remember him with those great Dodger teams in the 70s.
And boy, you talk about guys that could hit. This guy could hit too.
And out to the mound comes Brian Gorman, the umpire, to break it up. Dusty Baker not about to make a pitching change, just some instructions to his ball club, talk a few things over. You would have to think on the road they would play back for a double play right now and take their chances on getting it, getting out of the inning. Even if they don't, it's just a tie game and it's a 7th.
As you mentioned, Baker out there, for his conversation with Gardner, because he's seen what's happened with his bullpen earlier this year, so he's going to do everything he can to stay away from that bullpen if at all possible, especially in a situation like this, a crush situation.
Breaking ball up high, ball 1 to Morandini. Runners at the corners now and 1 out. Giants 2, Phillies 1 here in the 7th. That's Stocker at third. Dykstra at first.
The thing you know about Gardner too is earlier in the game that breaking ball was real sharp. It's starting to float a little bit now. Doesn't have a real sharp break on it. Not throwing nearly as many over the plate, and just there misses with the fastball. So now he's behind Morandini, 2 balls and no strikes.
Gardner gave up 6 runs his last time out, and none of them were earned. Move over to first, and back in time is Dykstra.
Of course, to this point tonight, the 1 run that he has given up is an unearned run because of the error by Mark Gardner.
Yeah, and this, if he gives up another one, it has potential too because of the pass ball to be unearned. 2-0 to Morandini to pitch to him. Ball 3, 3-0. On deck is Eisenreich. And a look down at Larry Ball by Mickey Morandini.
Well, Gardner may have been pitching around Dykstra, but he is definitely not pitching around Morandini.
He takes all the way, and it's over for a strike. The runners, you saw them, Stocker and Dykstra. 3 balls and 1 strike now to Morandini. Dykstra goes, and Morandini fouls it down the left field line. It will go out of play. So they ran on the play, and Morandini fouled it away, trying to stay out of a ground ball double play, I guess.
Well, trying to stay out of the ground ball double play because Gardner is having trouble throwing the curveball over recently, so therefore you figure that Morandini's going to get a fastball. Might as well give Dykstra at first a chance to start moving, because if the ball is hit in the middle of the infield, if he can beat that relay to second, then Phillies can pick up the time and run very easily.
If he ran 3-1, you'll probably run 3-2. We shall see. It's not a bad time to try that. A lot of times it's kind of baloney when they do that, but in that situation, hey, you might get a guy leave a little bit early.
That's right. Dykstra was running the pitch before, probably running again.
He is running, and it's ball 4 outside. So he walks, and the bases are loaded for Jim Eisenreich. 2 for 3 tonight, and here comes Baker with a pitching change. And Dusty Baker on his way to the mound, and that will do it for right-hander Mark Gardner here in the 7th inning. He will go 6 2/3 innings, the same as Sid Fernandez. And Rich DeLucia, the Berks County native, will be coming in. Mark Gardner gave the Giants a good outing tonight. He'll depart here in the 7th inning with a 2-1 lead. The bases loaded and 1 out, and on will come right-hander Rich DeLucia. We'll be right back. Business Person Special number 3, Phillies and the Cubs on Wednesday, June the 12th, a 3rd of 5 midweek midday fun in the Sun ball games. For everybody, it's another Mellon PSFS Business Person Special. So make your plans to take the afternoon off. Call 463-1000 or stop by the Center City Ticket Office, Mellon PSFS, Broad and Chestnut. By the way, don't forget Business Person Special number 2 is Wednesday, with the San Francisco Giants. Giants lead it 2-1 as Barry Bonds takes a break in the Giants bullpen down the left field line. Giants see have out hit the Phillies 11-5. But it's up to Rich DeLucia now. 6 foot, 185 pounder, born in Reading, now makes his home in Shillington. Graduated from Wyomissing Area High School in 1982. When Bob Quinn made the deal in the offseason with the St. Louis Cardinals for Royce Clayton, he tried to get some pitching, and he got 3 guys who were on the roster. Doug Creek out of the bullpen, Alan Watson, who's done a good job as a starter, and this guy, Rich DeLucia. The problem with DeLucia is that he has been on the disabled list. He missed all of spring training in the first month of the season due to shoulder surgery. But lately he's pitched pretty well for them, obviously, because Dusty Baker is showing a lot of faith in him. He's bringing him in to pitch to a left-handed batter, Jim Eisenreich. DeLucia will throw a splitter.
Also has a fastball and a slider. I mentioned Doug Creek, the only left-hander that Dusty Baker has in his bullpen. A little bit surprising. This is a spot in the 7th inning of the ballgame where bases loaded and 1 out. You would probably try to use your left-hander, but Baker not using him today.
According to their notes, Creek has pitched a lot. So here is DeLucia, Rich DeLucia to Jim Eisenreich. An infield single and a double to left off the glove of Dunston. Infield a double play depth. Up at the corners. The first pitch. Way outside, ball 1. Here's Jim Eisenreich with the bases loaded in his career.
DeLucia, in 4 innings of work so far this year, has walked 4 batters, so that's a distinct possibility. He's also struck out 5.
2. The pitch to Eisenreich fouled away. Eisenreich is 1 for 5 off DeLucia lifetime with 2 runs batted in. Phillies saw DeLucia last year in a Cardinals uniform. As the Fanatics starting to enjoy this one a little more. A ball and 1 strike. Way outside, 2-1. DeLucia pitched for the Seattle Mariners in 90, 91, 92, and 93 before pitching for Cincinnati in 94 and then the Cardinals last year. So his 3rd straight National League ballpark. Three and 1. He's trying to get him to go after the fastballs away.
Well, that's a good idea, but when the bases are loaded, it's not such a good idea to fall behind 3-1 in the count. Jim Eisenreich now with 2 pitches. He can take his choice on this 3-1 pitch. If it's not exactly what he wants, he can take it because he knows he's going to get another good pitch to hit it on 3-2. Well, he got a pitch that he wanted. He got a fastball up and out over the plate. Got a good rip at it. Just came up empty on it, but that's what you want to do on a 3-1 count. Look for a pitch that you like and then take a good hack at it. You don't want to ever see somebody take a check swing on a 3-1 pitch with the bases loaded in a situation like this. So Jim Eisenreich still has DeLucia where he has to throw him a good pitch.
Strike 3 called, struck him out looking. So he made a heck of a pitch to him there. And Eisenreich is gone for the 2nd out.
Falls behind 3-1, throws the fastball 3-1, throws it again 3-2. Brian Gorman has had a generous strike zone all night long, and Rich DeLucia right there, I believe, was the benefactor of that generous strike zone.
Yeah, he's been consistent with it a couple inches off the plate tonight. He looked like he was again. So here's Todd Zeile as DeLucia gets a huge strikeout there. Zeile 1 for 2 tonight with a walk. He and DeLucia teammates last year. DeLucia's got a pretty good fastball. The board had him at 91 on 1 pitch. They have it at 91 again with the gun. And that's Zeile with the bases loaded in his career. Hit a grand slam home run off Terry Mulholland in this ballpark one night. Outside with a breaking pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Phillies with a big chance here to tie this game or even go ahead, but now they're down to the last out. 2 outs here in the 7th inning. Bases remain loaded. DeLucia on for the starter, Mark Gardner. Zeile a check swing, a strike, 1-2. He wants to know if that's a strike or whether he swung at it. Not much he can do but look on. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Todd Zeile. Fouled away. Protected gets a real good pitch from DeLucia. Zeile has 3 lifetime at-bats against DeLucia when he was with Cincinnati, and he's 0 for 3 against him.
As mentioned, Gorman's strike zone has been generous all night long, so as a hitter, you have to realize that and go to the plate in this situation with the idea, well, I have to swing at anything that's close because he's been ringing them up.
Ooh, he had a good swing at that one. DeLucia got too much of the plate that time, and he got away with it.
That was a miss by DeLucia right there.
Oh, yeah.
Decker was sitting down and away. Might have even had the glove out of the strike zone. DeLucia came up and in the middle of the plate.
They say in every at-bat, which is probably not true, but they say that you get 1 pitch to hit. And he had a pitch to hit then.
Yes, he did.
Outside, 2-2. It's more of the way he wanted to throw it.
Jim Fernandez, John Vukovic looking on. So far, the 2 batters that DeLucia has faced this inning, the strikes that he's thrown with the fastball. All the breaking balls have been out of the strike zone.
Lucy was saying something there about a fastball. Here we go, 2-2. Struck him out. What a job by Rich DeLucia. In the inning, no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and they leave him loaded. We go to the 8th. It's 2-1, San Francisco. A fine job by Rich DeLucia. It remains 2-1, the Giants, as the Phillies squandered a bases-loaded 1-out opportunity as Rich DeLucia came in with a couple of strikeouts. We'd like to remind you that on June 20th, the Phillies' annual autograph and auction party benefiting ALS Lou Gehrig's disease will be held, and those tickets are on sale right now. Adults, $15. Children, $5. Hall of Fame booth for $30, featuring Steve Carlton, Rich Ashburn, and Robin Roberts. It's always a fun night for a great cause, so plan to come on out. Order your tickets now since there are a limited number remaining. Order by phone 463-1000 or stop by the Vet Stadium ticket office. Here is Rich DeLucia due to bat second in this inning, and he is in the on-deck circle as he came in and did the job for Dusty Baker, striking out Eisenreich and Zeile with the bases loaded and 1 out. Keep this to a 2-1 Giants lead. Steve Decker will bat. Decker had knocked in what is the go-ahead run in this game. No, actually, he knocked in the tying run. Williams was the go-ahead run. Decker singled in a run in the 6th. Decker and Tom Lampkin, the catchers right now for the Giants, with Kirk Manwaring on the disabled list. Ken Ryan, who came in for a 3rd of an inning, now pitching here in the 8th. That big curveball comes in high. 2-1. 3 pitchers tonight who throw curveballs: Gardner, Fernandez, and Ryan.
And they all throw those big looping breakers. Mentioned again, Brian Gorman's generous strike zone has been very beneficial to that high curveball.
DeLucia, a good swing and a foul back. Decker, I mean. Looking up Rich DeLucia's hitting totals here, as he is due to bat next. Two and 2 from Ken Ryan. Foul away. And that fan with a souvenir. Pretty good game here tonight. Both teams have now left quite a few men on base. 11 for the Giants. 9 for the Phillies. A lot of base runners, but little scoring. 2-1 San Francisco. Decker double pumps on a curveball, hits it into center field. Dykstra right there, 1 out. That will bring up DeLucia. For the first time this year, lifetime, he is 2 for 10 with no homers and no runs batted in, a career 200 batter. The Middle East presents Don Henry Wednesday at 8 o'clock on PRISM. Singer-songwriter Don Henry will take center stage. It's 30 minutes of music you won't want to miss. The Middle East presents Don Henry. That's Wednesday night at 8 o'clock exclusively right here on PRISM. 1 ball, no strikes to Rich DeLucia. Bats him right-handed, bounces up there, 2-0. On deck batter, Stan Javier. And Ryan goes 3-0 on the pitcher. He'll probably look at 1 and maybe 2. 1 out here in the 8th inning. Nobody on base. Walked him on 4 pitches. So DeLucia walks, and that'll bring up Javier. Scranton Wilkes-Barre 5, Richmond 3 after 7.5. As we look at some major league scores at the same time. Florida, a red-hot ball club, as is Atlanta. 2 hits each for David Doster and Howard Battle for the Red Barons. Norwich 3, Reading 3 after 7.5. Chad McConnell with his 5th home run of the year for the Reading Phillies. DeLucia with the warm-up jacket. Jim Davenport, the first base coach. And some American League scores. Only 3 games in the American League tonight. Javier will bat left-handed for the first time. 167 hitter from the left side. Little balls have bounced away from Santiago with Ryan pitching. That's ball 1. 5 straight balls now. 4 to the pitcher, now 1 to Javier.
Yeah, it's normally a killer anyway when you walk the opposing pitcher, but especially when you do it against the Giants. Now it is imperative that Ryan gets Javier and Thompson out unless he can come up with a double play ball, which is not really his strong suit, so that he doesn't have to face Bonds with men on base this inning. You're looking at a potential fire drill right here if he does not get Javier and Thompson out.
There's a strike call. Javier taking all the way. A ball and a strike on Stan. First year in a San Francisco uniform. We mentioned he was with the Phillies back in '92. Been out with a hamstring problem. Low and inside, 2-1. Javier spent the last couple of seasons with Oakland as pitching coach Jim Wright looks on, and Santiago heads out to the mound to talk to Ryan. Javier 278 for Oakland last year in 130 games with 8 homers and 56 runs batted in. Signed a 2-year contract with the Giants prior to this season. So Ken Ryan has got a little wild after retiring Decker. He walked DeLucia, and now 2-1 on Javier. There's the pitcher on at first. They're not holding him on. Way high and outside. Now the Phillies are going to get the bullpen up because, as Teak says, you're flirting with Bonds hitting in this inning.
You keep up at the current pace. If Javier and Thompson get on, then all of a sudden Bonds is hitting with the bases loaded and you have nowhere to put him, which is even more dangerous than normal.
Javier fouls it away, and it's 3-2. You saw Leeper getting up. He's up for Bonds. You saw Springer up. He's up for Williams.
And Jim Fregosi hoping that he doesn't have to use either one of them this inning, that Ken Ryan can right the ship, get through this one.
Now with a 3-2 count, they're going to hold DeLucia on first base, so they just don't give him a free run down there.
Try to keep the double play in order on a ground ball.
He does not go, and Javier fouls another ball away.
Think being with 1 out, Dusty Baker may start DeLucia if you're staying off of him just to stay out of the double play. And as hard as Ken Ryan is throwing, probably going to be tough for Stan Javier to pull the ball through that hole on the right side, so Kevin Jordan goes over and holds the bag.
He doesn't go, and it's a line drive left center. Dykstra to his right is there. 2 down. So now they have a chance to, if they can retire Robbie Thompson, not have to worry about Bonds in this inning. And Dave Leeper continues to throw in the bullpen just in case.
Second baseman Robbie Thompson.
2 outs, DeLucci at first base, and now they play off him again. There's Thompson's had a tough night, grounded into a double play, struck out twice, and flied to shallow right field. Bounces away from Santiago, a breaking ball, and DeLucci will trot into second on the wild pitch. So Ryan's been flirting with one of those.
Ball in the dirt. The big breaking ball. Santiago tries to get over in front of it. Has it kick off of him all the way into the Giants dugout. It's about a one-hopper into the dugout. It took a good bounce off of Santiago. So DeLucci can take his time going down to second base, and still imperative for Ken Ryan to get Robbie Thompson out right here.
Yeah, because this is his last batter.
Well, it's 2 balls and no strikes, but with the first base open, this is not one of those situations where you want to take advantage of it.
Yeah, Fergosi really wants him to get Thompson. DeLucci with a big lead off second, and Thompson way inside, ball 3, 3-0. And there he is, waiting on deck. You know, you'd probably bring a left-hander in to pitch to him, but that doesn't bother him all that much.
Well, the reason why he wears that armor on that right elbow is because he just doesn't flinch against left-handers.
Right, he's been hit there a few times. Mitch Williams drilled him once. 3-0. Good job by Robbie Thompson taking all the way. There's that pad on Bonds' arm.
That's armor.
Yeah, it is. There's fiberglass in there, isn't there?
Yeah, that's not soft, folks. That is a hard plastic shell.
Strike 2 call. Thompson was called out on a pitch like that his last time up. He didn't think it was a strike then. I don't think he thought it was a strike this time.
Well, that one may have been a little better than the last one, but Thompson trying to convince Brian Gorman not to call it a strike.
Well, he's done his job, at least to this point. 3 balls and 2 strikes, trying to get on for Bonds. Fly ball out of play. Into the upper deck. So Ken Ryan trying to get Robbie Thompson out here in the 8th inning. The runner is Rich DeLucci, the pitcher, who walked and is now at second base with 2 outs. Oh, he almost hit it. Walked in ball 4. Now we'll see what Fergosi does. And never a doubt, here he comes. He's going to go to Leeper, the left-hander. Take his chances that way against Bonds. So Leeper will go 1 inning. Or Ryan will go 1 inning as he departs with 2 walks. And Leeper will come into the bullpen right now, and all he has to do is face Barry Bonds. Come on back and watch it.
Hi, I'm Al Morgani of the Great Sports Debate.
And I'm Angelo Cataldi. Do not miss our next show. We're going to deal with all the big issues. What's going on with the Eagles in their front office? The Phillies, what is it going to take to bring the fans back?
But the big story is going to be the Flyers. We'll check in with their playoff prognosis, the big hits, the big stars, the big controversies, and whether anybody can stop the Big E.
We'd like you with us. We're going to be at Lawhead Nissan in Swarthmore, Pennsylvania. Get there about 11 on Tuesday, or watch us right here on the Great Sports Debate.
The people, the places, the events. The things that make the PRISM region come alive, come into focus on happenings. It's PRISM's 30-minute look at people to know, things to do, and places to go throughout the region. Brought to you by the channel that knows it best, PRISM. Welcome to your world. Welcome to the world of happenings. every month, exclusively on PRISM, the channel that brings your world closer to you.
And there's Ken Ryan in the dugout after a couple of walks in this thing. The big one, of course, was when he walked the pitcher DeLucia. That set up the confrontation that we now have between Dave Leeper, the left-hander, and Barry Bonds, the left-handed batter. There are the numbers on Leeper coming into his 16th game of the year. And Teak, what are Leeper's numbers against Barry Bonds?
Well, they're not very good, Wheels. I mean, most guys don't have real good numbers against Bonds. Dave Leeper among that group. So far, Bonds has seen Leeper 5 times. He's got 3 hits in those 5 at-bats. He has not hit the ball out of the ballpark. Leeper's been able to keep him in the ballpark, but right now, with runners on first and second, even a base hit is going to put another run on the board for the San Francisco Giants, and the Phillies haven't been scoring a whole lot of runs.
Oh, this is a ball game right now.
We've got to find a way somehow to get by Bonds and Williams.
Sure, you get too far behind against the Giants now with Rod Beck pitching as well as he is, you're in deep trouble. So.
And Dusty Baker has already shown that he will go to Beck in the 8th inning now, so that means that as soon as the Giants score, it becomes time for Rod Beck if Rich DeLucia gets in any kind of trouble at all. But first things first, Barry Bonds needs to be dealt with.
You see he's had another good night. Down low for ball 1. Bonds is with 2 hits and has extended his hitting streak now to 14 straight. 2 on, 2 outs, 2-1 Giants in the 8th inning. Fly ball, shallow left field, and Leeper will get the job done. There's Eisenreich. Good job by Dave Leeper. Phillies dodge another bullet in that inning. No runs, no hits, no errors. Giants lead 2 more. Still 2-1s. SL.
It's fast. It's convenient. It's courteous. It's easy. It's simple. It's hassle-free. It's practical. It's helpful. It's handy. It's the way thousands of smart people get their tickets to Phillies games. They just call 463-1000 to find out which seats are available. It's time to order tickets to any Phillies home game. Just call 463-1000.
PRISM is going batty with a great spring movie lineup. Val Kilmer teams with Chris O'Donnell to battle Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones in Batman Forever. Michael Keaton, the guy who used to be Batman, courts Gina Davis in Speechless. Kurt Russell, a guy who could have been Batman, takes off in Stargate. And Gary Oldman is Beethoven, a guy who could have written some cool Batman music in Immortal Beloved. Holy movie multiplex. It's a great spring lineup from your bat-crazy friends at PRISM.
Dave Leeper brought into the ballgame in a very tough situation. Falls behind Barry Bonds, 1 ball and no strike. Throws him a changeup. Gets Bonds out in front. Pops it up into left field. Barry not looking for that changeup whatsoever. So give Dave Leeper some credit. He got behind in the count and made a great pitch on Barry Bonds. See right here as Bonds lunges out in front, not able to get the bat on the good part of the ball, pops it up to left field. An easy play for Jim Eisenreich, and the Phillies dodge a bullet.
Good job by Leeper. Fastball swing and an off-speed pitch, and you see what happens. There's Bonds, who thinks he should do it every time right now, and when you're as hot as he is, it's hard to...
He hasn't missed too many.
Well, exactly. You know, I mean, I'm sure he thinks he's so locked in right now that those things shouldn't happen to him.
Well, it just did. Nice job, Dave Leeper.
Yeah, and they kept this game competitive. 2 balls, or 2-1 right now, as the Giants lead it 2-1, and Santiago the batter. He is 0 for 3. Rich DeLucia, who did such a good job last inning, and there we've been talking about it. Rod Beck starting to loosen up for the Giants. Way foul out of play.
Well, we saw a pattern developing last inning, Wheels, with DeLucia. Even though he did get the 2 strikeouts, it was all fastballs for strikes. The breaking balls were out of the strike zone. Santiago fouled off a breaking ball there, but that one even appeared to hang on the inside part of the plate, not where he wanted it.
That's a fastball for a strike, right? He got both his strikeouts on fastballs. 1 called, 1 swinging.
Santiago now with 2 strikes, of course, can't be quite so selective, but Philly hitters could almost go up there until they get 2 strikes and just look strictly fastball.
Another fastball hit well to center, but right there is Stan Javier, and that's the first out here in the 8th inning. Don't forget Dream Week. That's a chance to join Philly stars of the past next February in Clearwater, Florida. 1 full week to live, learn, and play with the pros. Call 215-938-1200. 215-938-1200. Stop dreaming. Make this the year. Make that call right away. Glenn Murray, the batter. Swinging a foul tip held on to by Decker. Murray with a couple of strikeouts tonight. He has also walked and scored the Phillies' only run. That run is unearned. Fastball right there for a strike, 0-2. J.R. Phillips was in the 7th spot. The pitchers are now in that spot. So Ruben Amaro has moved into the on-deck circle. There you see him. Phillips coming out with a double switch. Oh, that ball's outside. But it's called a strike. And that is the second out of the 8th inning. One thing with an expanded plate, but that looked a little...
Well, let's take a look at this pitch right here. Decker sets up well out of the strike zone. Lucha throws the ball even further than that out. Wow. That's a case right there of the home plate umpire just assuming that where the catcher sets up is the edge of the strike zone. Decker, as a lot of veteran catchers will do, set his target up outside of the strike zone. DeLucia hit it, and Brian Gorman gave him a call on a pitch that was at least 6 or 8 inches outside.
Well, Amaro goes back, and Pete Incaviglia will come out the bat now. Here's Incaviglia to pinch hit for Leeper. And Ricky Bottalico hasn't pitched for a while, starts to throw for the Phillies. Pete Incaviglia batting .230 overall, 1 for 10 as a pinch hitter. And lifetime against Rich DeLucia, 1 for 3, and that 1 hit is a home run.
Well, what Jim Fregosi is trying to do right now by pulling back Amaro and sending Incaviglia up, he has also seen that DeLucia is only getting the fastball over the plate. So Incaviglia, a good fastball hitter, going to give him one shot at catching one of those fastballs up in the strike zone and trying to hit the ball out of the ballpark to tie this game up.
That's what he tried to do, and he threw it right by him. DeLucia has a really good fastball in that. And he is throwing the ball by people.
Well, the Phillies with only 5 hits in the ballgame have not done a whole lot of manufacturing of runs, so Fregosi going for the quick hit.
0-2. And with the exception of Eisenreich, who he fell behind 3-1 with the bases loaded, he's been getting ahead of the hitters.
Well, he tried to throw Eisenreich a couple breaking balls early in that count and didn't work.
Where Decker set up, struck him out on 3 pitches. 3 strikeouts for DeLucia in an inning and 2/3, 3 up and 3 down. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Rich DeLucia does the job. It's 2-1 Giants after 8.
It's the time that you spend as father and son. All the special memories of things that you've done, like Phillies fights at the vet, just you and your dad. The greatest tasting hot dogs that you ever had. They're the taste of Philly, Philly's favorite Phillies Franks. They're the taste of Philly, Philly's favorite Phillies Franks.
Well, if there is a Game 7, it will be right here on PRISM. You won't want to miss it because it'll be a barn burner Thursday night at 7:30. The Flyers and the Florida Panthers. Of course, they play game number 6 tomorrow night at the Miami Arena. And should the Flyers win that one, then Game 7 would, in fact, be necessary. And we'll have it for you right here on PRISM beginning at Thursday. So, beginning Thursday at 7:30, and we know you'll want to see that. There it is. A lot of men left on base in this game for both teams. Very little scoring. Giants lead at 2-1 on Matt Williams' home run. The new pitcher is the right-hander Ricky Bottalico.
And Bottalico won for the 16th time this season. Leads the National League in saves with 11. He's a perfect 11 for 11 in save opportunities. And he's got a save in 7 of his last 8 appearances. Of course, this situation, not a safe situation for Ricky. The Phillies trailing by a run. His job right now just to keep it at a 1-run deficit. And hopefully the Philly bats can come up with something here in the bottom of the 9th.
Vitalico hasn't pitched since Wednesday when he was in a game against the Houston Astros. That was the game the Phillies won 2-1 in 10 innings. Evidently something must be on the field because the umpires are pointing to the outfield. Oh, there's no right fielder out there.
That is a problem.
Yeah, there's not only nobody on the field, there's nobody out in right field. Tough enough to play this game with 8 guys.
Where has Glenn Murray disappeared to?
So Vitalico, some clown just jumped on the field. He's going to go play out there, and all he does is get himself an ejection now.
Yep. There'll not be a whole lot of happy campers around as his staff will go out and remove him from the field.
Well, Vitalico is annoyed as he's standing on the mound. You know, Ricky, with his high energy, he wants to get going, and he can't quite figure out what the problem is here.
Well, other than the fan on the field, the biggest problem is Glenn Murray's not in right field. I mean, you would think maybe he went up, for some reason, went up the runway out in the outfield, but the guys in the bullpen aren't acting like they really know where he's at either. Here he comes. Must have been an equipment repair. Don't know what the holdup was, but Glenn Murray was back in the clubhouse. He jogs out to his position in right field. Now everybody's in place.
And Matt Williams will lead it off. Matt Williams with a solo home run in the 7th inning. His 9th of the year, that coming off Sid Fernandez, and that is the difference in the game right now. Vitalico with a good fastball over for a strike. Ricky against these Giants has been in 6 games. He's 1-0 with an earned run average of 2.84. Misses outside. Matt Williams 0 for 3 lifetime against him. Williams, Carrion, and Hill, all right-handed batters to bat in the 9th inning, and we would expect Rod Beck to be coming in for the Giants in the bottom of the inning. Outside, 2-1. Vitalico's job is to keep this game to 1 run. You do a lot more things at home when it's just a 1-run game. Power right there, and he threw it by Matt Williams. Fastball on the board, clocked at 94 miles per hour from Ricky Vitalico.
Not only was it 94 miles per hour, but it was in on Matt Williams' hands. Had him tied up.
You see the scoreboard showing the velocity of that pitch.
That'll cause Williams to back off the plate just a little bit.
Breaking ball, yeah.
You throw that inside fastball and make them conscious of it, and all of a sudden they make a little bit of an adjustment. They shift the weight back to the heels a little bit. What does that do? As soon as you see Williams open up just a little bit, the outside part of the plate, he thinks it's a fastball, but it's gone. Good pitching by Ricky Vitalico.
That'll bring up Mark Carrion 0 for 4 tonight. See 3 ground outs and a strikeout. Vitalico with another good fastball, a swing and a miss, 0-1. One ball, 1 strike now on Mark Carrion with 1 out here in the 9th inning. Giants lead 2-1. Second straight game that Fregosi has used Vitalico in a non-save situation, and the reason both times being that he hadn't pitched for a while.
Hasn't had much work.
The 1-2, Carrion, it's high and outside, 2-2. Glenn Allen Hill waits on deck. And then Sean Dunston should the Giants get a base runner.
Carrion, a little different situation. Vitalico throwing the fastball away from him and throwing it by him would probably be a mistake to throw a breaking ball. There it is right there. And that's the one pitch that is off speed enough that if Carrion is that far behind it that he can get his bat on it and get it in play. Fortunately for Ricky, that one was down and out of the strike zone, but wouldn't be surprised to see him go back to that high, hard one.
Which he does, but it's high and inside.
Hello.
And carry on, maybe diving out, looking for something away, had to get out of there in a hurry. That one, they say, was 95. 3 balls, 2 strikes now to carry on. Struck him out with a high fastball. 2 strikeouts for Metallico. 2 up and 2 down here in the 9th inning. And that'll bring up Glenn Allen Hill 1 for 3.
Well, he finally got that fastball back in the zone. The first 2 strikes were out, and he got exactly the same result. That fastball is well by Carry-On before he ever gets the bat anywhere near the hitting area. Carry-On, at that at-bat, showed that he cannot hit Metallico's high, hard one.
And Metallico with a fastball inside to Hill. 1-0. Rod Beck continuing to loosen up for the Giants. Tried to check, couldn't on a fastball. 1-1. Bounced up there, 2 balls and 1 strike now on Hill. Metallico trying to retire the Giants, keep this to a 1-run game as we would go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Fouled away. Glenn Allen Hill and Mark Whitten, one-time teammates in the Toronto organization, then traded in the same deal over to Cleveland. And Hill has been with the Giants a couple years now, done a good job for San Francisco. Metallico trying to retire him. 2 balls and 2 strikes. High pop-up right side, playable. Morandini back, Murray coming in. Murray makes the play in fair territory. 3 up and 3 down go the Giants. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Last chance time for the Phillies coming up the bottom of the 9th.
We're back at Veterans Stadium as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Phillies trail the Giants by a score of 2-1. New right fielder for the San Francisco Giants is Marvin Bernard. Takes out over there, but even more importantly for the San Francisco Giants, taking over on the mound is their closer, Rod Beck. Beck on for the 15th time this season. You see the 8 saves. He is a perfect 8 for 8 in the save category. Has not given up an earned run on the year. Beck throws a hard fastball. He turns it over and sinks it. A devastating splitter once he gets a hit in the count. Also throws a curveball and a slider. He throws both of them hard too. So you see how mean he looks? That's how mean he throws.
And Kevin Stocker will lead it off as Rod Beck is the new pitcher and Marvin Bernard moves into right field. And Stocker takes it high for ball 1 from Rod Beck. Beck has been perfect this year. Boy, this guy at one time, nobody could get him.
They're not getting him right now either.
Nope. He had a little down period there, and that's going to happen. But he is back, it would appear. As you mentioned, Teak, good fastball, but his out pitch is that splitter. Swinging a foul tip by Stocker. Stocker, Kevin Jordan, and then Lenny Dykstra here in the 9th inning.
14 in the 3rd inning so far this season for Beck. We mentioned the perfect 8 for 8 saves, 15 strikeouts, 1 base on ball.
Yeah, that's him when he's pitching well. Stocker grounds 1 to first. Nice play, carry on. He'll look for Beck. He's there, got him. 1 out here in the 9th inning.
Carry-On made an error earlier in the ballgame, allowing the Phillies to get their only run, but makes a nice play here. A good toss to Beck at first base. Stocker retired.
Oh, Kevin Jordan will bat, the first time he's ever faced Rod Beck. Jordan sacrificed in his 1 at bat tonight. Came into the double switch, swinging another foul tip held on to by Decker. been a strike all night, and it is again. 0-2.
Just looking at my sheet, looking for a quick run here, seeing who on the Phillies, if anybody, has hit a home run off of Rod Beck in their career.
Swing and a foul ball at the plate.
There has been only one, and we just missed our opportunity. Kevin Stocker has the only home run against Beck.
Hit it here at Veterans Stadium. Hit it in that unbelievably hot series in 1993 when the temperature was smoking for 4 days and the Giants were in town. Chopped up the middle. They can't get it, and it's through for a base hit. Boy, Beck threw his hand up there and then decided better and let it go by. Appeared that Beck was going to try and catch it for a second. So Kevin Jordan gets on.
Phillies with life as Jordan bounces one back up the middle. Got that splitter from Beck, or the sinker rather, he just bounces it back through past Dunston. Phillies now with 6 hits on the evening.
And Lenny Dykstra, the batter, looking at his lifetime against Rod Beck. He's 1 for 5 with an RBI. Pop-up foul out of play. Dykstra's 0 for 3 tonight. He struck out, lined out, and lived on the error by carry-on.